Welcome to the Visual Cast. Coming at you from California, I'm your host, Alon Hammer, aka Rem. The Visual Cast is a hybrid podcast where we sit down with some of the best, most interesting, and most exciting visual artists from all over the world. We chat about life, art, visuals, software, hardware, systems, crystals, alien downloads, spirituality, and catalysts. It's essentially a massive nerd out. But the guests also do a set where we dive into their computer and get an up and close look at how they make art, how they perform art, or really anything they want to share with us. I really hope you guys enjoy this episode. To support us, please like and subscribe, follow us on Instagram, and leave us a review on Spotify. Now, without any further ado, here's the Visual Cast.
The world is like a ride at an amusement park, and it's fun for a while. Some people have been on the ride for a long time, and they begin to question, is this real, or is this just a ride? And other people have remembered, and they come back to us, and they say, hey, don't worry, don't be afraid, ever, because this is just a ride.
Special guest on today, somebody who I wanted to have on for a really long time, and she is gracing us with her presence and giving us her very valuable time. So I'm very honored. She's a really high level visual and generative artist, and just a kind of master of TouchDesigner. So I'm really happy to have on the podcast Ployz Possery, aka Ploy. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for having me today.
Hell
Lovely.
yeah, thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I mean, I'm super happy we got to get this going. We have to shout out to Sophie, Ein Sof, our intern here at the podcast, my good friend, for pushing you into coming on.
And she could be my intern now too.
Yeah, she's everybody's intern. Sophie's everybody's intern.
How sweet of Sophie. Really. I have to say it out loud so she wants to meet it. Yeah.
She really is the best. I love Sophie so much. We grew up together. She's like my little sister.
I just know last time I met her, it was like surprising in information, like how everybody connected in the like lovely way.
Ploy, you are a super high level artist. I'm going to show some of your work while we talk about it a little bit, because I think that your work speaks for itself. I mean, you have such a tight aesthetic. It's like this kind of almost minimalistic, like sci-fi kind of vibe, but like very, very high, like end, like data information, data explanation, lots of particles, lots of point cloud information, and in some of your like big projects are absolutely amazing. Well, I'm going to show one of them in a second. I love the Chasing Waterfalls one that you did. It's so impressive. But I'd love to talk to you just kind of as an intro, like how did you find this style? Where does it come from? Like, where did you find your voice, your expression? Tell us a little bit about that while we look at your work.
Yeah. I think there's a definitely background in there. Like, I was working during 2000 when I finished study 2013, and that's like I already using Cinema for the like 3D software, and it was like part of my master thesis. And then like then I was like, I'm not gonna get good with the 3D software. I'm gonna learn how to do high-end rendering, and then 2000 until like 2013 to 19, and I keep learning, doing like actually I do a lot of what do we call like playground. Like I play with the software a lot, so I learn
Sandbox
technique just like how I do. Yeah, like a wild card, like going crazy. This is
Right.
technique I learned this, and
Super cool.
then I arrived at some point that like
Oh,
I
good
had it. I can't wait for rendering anymore. It's
lord.
just uh, I can't have the feeling of wake up rendering overnight and
Right.
I feel
Overnight.
like I see mistake and
Yeah.
it's this mistake nobody will care except me because like I
Yeah.
want
But you have to
perfect.
do it all again.
And I have to do it waiting another frame 2 hours
Yeah.
for one
Yeah.
frame
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then like there's a time of during pandemic, and then I was like, oh okay, then I want to uh, I have money at that time, and then I have time because I can't go traveling at the time during the pandemic. So okay, I decided to learn touch designer, and then I admiring the minimal style, like
Mm-hmm.
minimalistic kind of how the touch designer looked, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like oh this is such a relief. It's like it's not easy for me to learn, but it was like it's nice to looking at, and the
Mm-hmm.
combination of that, like I was looking like what kind of art, because generative art usually is like a minimal style,
Mm-hmm.
and but but then it's also like I love the music so much. I'm not a musician, but I like I learned touch designer with the audio reactive kind of approach because I want to like enjoy sound and music that is coming working together, and then it just developed from there. But I also like when I approach it at the beginning, because you asked about the style, like
Mm-hmm.
I like to have minimal, but also there's a sense of detail because like I came from the very detail kind of background, like 3Ds, lighting and texturing and then stuff like that. And I want to find the middle ground. Like I don't want to be too minimal, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be too complex. So that's trying
Gotcha.
to like find the balance of it.
So very interesting. I didn't know you come from a 3D background. That makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. But, I also have this a very similar kind of relationship with this. Was like, yeah, the rendering became something that I just couldn't deal with anymore,
Mhm.
and I never want to render again. But there's also like, there's a difference when you go from like a very, especially like Cinema 4D, like a proper DCC into Touch Designer, which is like a completely different environment, regardless of generative art. Was it a difficult like curve of like, because like you said, like you have to go now from your very high detail to like more minimalistic, which you kind of enjoyed the stylistically, but just in terms of like,
Mhm.
being able to like obviously being able to see everything real time, see everything, any changes you make is very valuable, right? Because you can experiment in
Mhm.
real time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, node graphs and visual scripting is like a totally different experience than Cinema 4D. Was it difficult for you to like really like get your head into the game of generative, like I'm sorry, of visual scripting of node based systems?
Oh, that's another proper topic to talk about because like
Sure.
it's I'm from the designer perspective. Like I'm not the developer, and
Mm-hmm.
node base is really new idea for me to
Yeah.
comprehend for thinking, especially like a shop operator, and that's another story. But to work with a node base like a non-linear is it's like a recalibrating my brain basically. So for me, it's like it took me at least a year just to know what I'm doing. It's that
Mm-hmm.
level of like difficult, but because I enjoy the result pretty much,
Mm.
like how the software can give you thousands of possibility, especially what I like about audio reactive, and that's like it keep me doing it because I enjoy connect
Mm.
sound and visual, and this point alone I can tolerate with it, and that's the point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not was not easy for me
No,
by
for
learning.
sure. I think it's hard for a lot of people without a development background, or at least some sort of visual scripting background. But it just goes to
Hmm.
show how awesome Touch Designer is, that
Yeah.
you loved the experience of playing with it and getting into it, and like getting the feedback, right? Like that real-time feedback is
Right.
so valuable as a creative
Exactly.
when you have ideas. Or sometimes I spoke about this yesterday with the really awesome guy Innocent. It's like, you have, very rarely does the big idea that you have end up being the result of the artwork. Like, because there's like so much along the way, right? There's like the journey, and you change, your emotion changes, your feeling changes along the way, and like the big idea usually becomes something totally different in the result. And when you have a sandbox that's real time, you can really navigate that space really well, and give your input like a really like a very educated kind of direction, because you're seeing the results. When you're in a 3D software and you're setting it all up and you're getting it all ready, very often the result, the render, is very different than what you were setting up, and sometimes not what you were intending. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good, but there's just like a disconnect. There's a disconnect. And when you're in the real time, you can kind of navigate. Is this good direction that's different than what I wanted? Is this not a good direction? And it's just a very
True.
kind of like more natural, authentic process, I feel like.
Correct. Yeah. You don't like force to like you see like this is the right direction. You can always shifting and yeah, like if you for example like the After Effect, you have to you have a visual in mind. You have to exactly arrive in that way, because like
Hmm.
keyframe you can't just like non-linear kind of
Yeah,
plug and play kind of thing. You just like
totally.
this is what you want. You have to get exactly. There's no experiment around it.
Yeah. You
but
know,
with touch designer is
yeah, no, no.
always like experimental. Yeah.
It's always experimental. But I must say about After Effects, I had Erica Anderson. She was just on the podcast. Her episode's coming out like tomorrow. And she uses
Hmm.
After Effects, and she makes like GIFs in After Effects, does dailies for like a decade. And when she was showing her
Hmm.
process, I was like, I'm not a fan of After Effects, for a long time already. Definitely one of the
Hmm.
first programs I used, but the way that she used it, and the way she's stacking effects, and the way she's like experimenting, I was like, oh, this is like generative art, but she's just using this tool in a different way. And it kind of reminds you of just
Cool.
like, there's so many different ways to use tools, and everybody has their different
Right.
ways,
Yeah.
but it's definitely not conventional. And I think a tool like TouchDesigner is much more conducive and conventional for this kind of generative expression. I'd love to just talk
Hmm.
quickly about your Chasing Waterfalls AI opera that you
Hmm.
did, just because it's just a very striking project. And
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah, just please tell us a little bit about it, like, kind of where it came from, what it became, the process a little bit behind it.
Basically, yeah. This project is when I'm not like I don't believe at that time it was like 2022. I'm like I think I was still beginner pretty much. And that's actually the passion I'm gonna show is gonna relate to this project. That's
Cool.
why actually you have the right direction.
Perfect.
Um, yeah, basically, yeah, it's a very first AI, I believe, like one of the first AI opera where the AI is the writing the script of the story partly, not total, writing the compose the music and
Wow.
also singing.
Wow.
So there will be like around I don't know like 5 to 10 minutes that the AI perform itself basically,
Crazy.
and that but that's not my main part of the work. My main part is the as you can see here. Um, it's pretty interesting concept, and yeah, I was honored to be part of this.
Mm.
Basically the challenging is quite challenging project. Like it's the project that kicked me into the nut of be good at touch designer now, right now. Like,
Yeah.
It's like okay, I'm gonna learn really hard way. Like this one, like the hardcore project to
For
get
sure.
better into TouchDesigner. Yeah, and like that, like two tasks that I been involved. Basically, there's a overture. Overture is the opening, the opener visual for the opera. So like before everything start, there's a video that I made. Is the if you see in the website, there's a like neuro of the AI start to like around 1 minute video or something like that. That is like AI neuro start to wake up, like pulsating little by little and start to be involved. So that's the idea of this video, that is like we are entering to the AI world and the AI start waking up. And the other one was yeah, you saw like with a face scan and stuff like that. So the director of the show has the brilliant idea of like let the audience be part of the show by scanning their face. So
The
the
audience,
audience can,
you would scan the audience's face?
yeah, we scan the audience face,
Wow,
and we
that's
we,
cool.
we put we have I have like 30
Yeah.
30 minutes or something to put, like, I mean the premiere was roughly 50 faces. So
Wow.
like, like OBJ5,
Yeah,
PLY,
put it
like
all
point
in.
cloud, put it all in. But I have to
Wow.
brief my helper, like, please scan with the low resolution. Otherwise,
Oh my
my
god.
laptop, my little poor laptop will just dying.
Oh my
Like,
god.
but we have to do it fast. We have to do it like exactly the size that we want, and then it's just like scanning all the audience, and you can see here, like scanning the audience.
What a cool
And well, you
idea.
even have this
I
footage.
thought it was a
Yeah.
scan of the actors or the actors on
Oh
stage.
no, like people, the audience that come, that they can look at it, like, I see my face over there, that's
Such a
my
cool
face and
idea.
stuff like that. Yeah, but I almost died. Not like actual dying,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, of
like my
course.
my nerve going to the roof of like
So
make
stressful,
sure,
huh?
like, very. And it was
Yeah.
like the system is already complex by itself. Like I have like my patches, like a proper machine. Like I have, I think it was like 5 scene, and each scene contain like one or two scene contain like 20 faces or 20, 30
Wow.
faces in one talks file or
Oh
something.
my
And I have to
gosh.
make all the system that, how can I make a system that I can upload the faces really fast in a short time, and have a parameter that is not just to like make sure that like when you scan the face, you can if you scan badly, the axis can be like down or
Right.
not straight.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
and all the files too big, or they are like really just some area and it's not perfect scan. So you better make sure everything straight in the front, like right axis, the scale is not too big, and it's like recognizable face. There's a lot of condition out there. It's like straight through the roof.
Wow.
But I survived, so I was
Yeah, and
like,
the result is
it's a
really striking.
hardcore.
It's a really cool project. You should be really proud of it. Um, and
Definitely.
also, like you said, it like those are the projects that teach you, right? That make you into like
In the fast way.
make you into a master, because it's like you have to adjust fast. You have to kind of get things ready fast, and if you
Hmm.
succeed, if you can manage and not fail, then even if you fail, actually, you can still
Hmm.
learn from the failure. But there's just something about that, like jumping
Hmm.
into the deep end. You learn how to swim really well.
Hmm. Exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'd love to
Yeah.
kind of go back a little bit to your early life. You grew up in Thailand, is that right?
Yeah. I grew up in
And
Thailand. I moved to Germany 2010, basically.
okay, cool. And so did you go to school in Thailand as well?
Yeah, everything. Like school, everything until my bachelor. I
Mm-hmm.
finished bachelor in Thai University. Completely not about graphic, not about visual at all. It's about tourism, which is like completely something else. I thought I would
Oh,
work in the tourism
industry?
service job, yeah, industry. But who want to meet too many people all the time? Not me.
Some people.
And then yeah, but then
Yeah, please tell
I
us a little bit
before.
about your kind of where you grew up and how you
Mhm.
got into this kind of visual aspect, and just just a little bit of an intro to kind of your early life in Thailand. It's such a unique experience. I'd love to hear more about it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually my where originally I came from in Thailand is extremely small town. It's like close to Laos and Cambodia kind of
Mm-hmm.
area, like 600 kilometers from Bangkok.
Mm-hmm.
It's not much going on. But then I moved to Bangkok for bachelor study. I live in Bangkok for 9 years, 8 to 9 years, something like that. And yeah, in the meantime, before I moved to Germany, I self-taught myself about like graphic design basically. Like
Mm-hmm.
at that time there was like a Photoshop, Illustrator, and already After Effects at that time. So like 2000,
Okay.
2008, 9, roughly that long. Like using After Effects, that's really long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I work because I like self-taught and I want to work in the graphic design industry. So I don't, even though I don't study, but I managed to get the full-time job that working with the After Effects, with the Photoshop and Illustrator basically. So
Oh wow.
that give me a portfolio
In
to like
Thailand.
uh, to in Thailand, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can be able to use those portfolio to study in Germany without graduate
Gotcha.
in the design or like visual related. Well, thanks to German university because it's enough for them if you have a portfolio that
Mm-hmm.
you actually work professionally and you can apply for university in Germany,
That's awesome.
and that's the idea. Yeah, so I work like it's not like much rent, much salary at that time, but it gave me a very good portfolio.
Mm.
So then I looking for university
Schools.
in Germany, and then yeah, like a master degree. And
Uh-huh.
I'm glad that I didn't have to study like a bachelor basically,
Right.
because
You just
that
went
would
right
be
into
like
it.
exactly because I have a portfolio that I work in
That's
company
amazing.
in Bangkok yeah before, and then yeah,
So,
it's got to
just
live
out
in
of
Germany.
interest, like what made you interested in this kind of digital art, visual art? Like what made you want to teach yourself these things? Was there somebody inspiring for you, or was it something that you saw? Was it just you just didn't want to be in the service industry, or was there something pushing you in that
What
direction?
that board, but I actually drawing a lot in the past. Like I'm like
Drawing.
since I was young, I think it's like a normal artist where you like you were young, you like drawing and painting, and I was the same. Like I like drawing, just doodle everything, like painting, like oil painting in the
Mm.
past, and then I saw like Illustrator, and then I just learned by myself, like just for fun, like just always self taught all along the way,
Right.
like
Right.
never
Right.
really
Right.
study, yeah, and yeah, it's all the passion of drawing. And then like
Mm.
from drawing to graphic design, from graphic design to motion design, and now to like audio visual. So
Generative.
like always about all about visual, like whole life.
Interesting. Interesting. That's
Never
awesome.
change basically.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you kind of found the thing that makes you feel the best and just have been expanding it as you get more and more experience. That's
Exactly.
amazing. So, okay, so you came
Yeah.
to Berlin, you came to Germany and you studied your master's degree in 3D, like was it 3D motion design, like motion graphics kind of stuff?
Uh, like compositing animation. Yeah.
Compositing animation. Oh, it's like
No, animation and
VFX.
yeah. Yeah, visual effect, like a film production kind of
Oh, cool.
master degree, and
Wow.
but I was like really more like in the film production kind of direction,
Mm.
which is like
Mhm.
it's not really not what I like, but I like yeah, I'm grateful that they take me to university like without even graduate, and that's like I appreciate German university in that way that okay, even though I'm not fully like me, but at least they accept me without I graduate in Thailand.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. But then I mean, like I always like self-taught anyway. To be in university is partly is like about visa and everything, you know, like Asian living in Germany is like you better be a student and then like pass the like a German visa kind of system. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end, all the software that I do, I self-learning anyway, like self-taught and stuff like that. Even
That's
Cinema
awesome.
4D, I also learning by myself. And now
Really.
it's like TouchDesigner, I also learning by myself. Everything, like, yeah, it's all about passion at the end. Yeah.
It
I
is. It
believe.
is really about passion. Passion can really um, make you or force you to get over difficult things. You know, like you were talking about
Right.
before with Touch Designer. Like you know, you were passionate about this thing. It made you want
Mm-hmm.
to get deeper into it. You know, and even if it's difficult, even if it's hard, even if there are hurdles, you're passionate about it. You want to continue with it. It's a very
Mm-hmm.
important
Yeah.
thing. I always, it's so funny because it's like if you're it's the hard thing in life is to find what you're passionate about. But once you find the thing that you're passionate about, doesn't matter what it is, just go for it. You'll be successful. Because
Yeah.
if you're passionate
Yeah.
about something, you're going to continue and you're going to push and you're going to push. You know, I think we're a
Exactly.
little bit lucky because we realized that our passion from an early time was art, was creative, was was visual in this case. I studied film and then came into this from film.
Mm.
But it's like I knew that that was the thing that drove me, you know? And a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
they don't know the thing that drives them, but it's like once you know what it is, don't listen to anybody,
Yeah.
don't follow any
Yeah.
path
Follow
or
your
anything.
heart. It's just
Follow
right
the heart.
here, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Follow that passion
May
and
I
you're going to
say
be successful.
something? That
Yes,
was like
please.
I mean, like talk about passion basically, like because like I was working in the motion design like a freelance before I found touch designer basically. Like I was like doing 3D and then After Effects and stuff. And the funny things about I want to talk about that is actually what you actually good will be good at it's just right here on your
Mm.
nose. That's a slang. I think it's a universal slang. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah,
you
yeah.
look out far, you look far further
Yeah.
away. Like what can be me in the future?
Mm.
Who am I gonna become? Like what I can stick very long time. You keep looking. No, at the end it's just right here. But
Mm.
it's just like behind your eye, you can't
You're
see it.
right, right. You can't
But
see it. Yeah.
my point is I was like I'm working as a motion design for 3D and then that's like I like it but it's also sometimes it's drained my energy and
Mm.
it's like I arrive at some point I feel like it's not easy for me anymore to
Mm.
pushing forward and then I found that I want to do visual with music and
Mm.
because I listened to music for my whole life, I make a mixtape since I was young. Like music is like 80% of me basically.
Mm.
But I never thought to make a visual with music. And then when I do it, I just can't stop. And then I keep doing, and then it just worked really well. And I was like, why I didn't think about it before? and then and that's like so close to you, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to calm like a quiet mind, and then yeah, you will find the connection. Yeah. So I found the connection. Like music is the make you focus, even though. At the beginning, Sunny was difficult to learn, but it because it's when you get a good result, it's quite fun and it's like keeping you forward because the more you like it, the more it works, and the more you want to do it. So like it should start from somewhere that you really like it, even though
Mm.
it's hard, but you think you will enjoy it, and that's the idea. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially if you're passionate about it or if something that you enjoy, right, then then it becomes less difficult. Even if it is difficult, you're still enjoying the process. So it's like kind of
Mm-hmm.
canceling it out and you want to continue.
Yeah.
It's a really
Mm-hmm.
good recipe for success is following your passion. Obviously, you know, some people's passion is making a lot of money, which is also a good thing. If you follow that, you'll be
Mm-hmm.
successful. You know, it's like a passion can be really anything. It's just the thing that makes you
Exactly.
feel like the best. Or like you said, it's like in your
Yeah.
heart. Like what is in your heart in that sense. Um, Awesome. So, okay, so you got into school, you're kind of studying motion graphics, you're getting, into VFX and 3D. And then you said during COVID, you had a chance to study Touch Designer. Do you remember who turned you on to it? Who showed you it? And was it like just kind of like, I want to do audio visual and therefore this makes the most sense? What else was there? Like, why Touch Designer?
Yeah, I at the very beginning, like during pandemic, I already like went to workshop in Berlin. Here there was like how to be a VJ, like what
A
kind of
VJ
software
workshop.
out there to VJ workshop. Yeah, and I learned VDMX. I don't know
Oh,
if you know
cool. Yeah, of
VDMX.
course, of course.
Yeah, I was in love with VDMX at that time. I mean, like I know TouchDesigner exists, but I didn't really focus on that, but
Mm-hmm.
when I learned VDMA, it was like, yeah, this software is for me. And then
Mm.
I really had fun and super exciting how I make audio reactive in VDMX. And but then at some point, and then in the meantime, when I'm having fun with VDMX, I was like, in the meantime, I hear Touch Designer people start talking about it, and I was like, but then the more I work with DMS, it's a great software, but it's good for stable VJing. But if I want to do complex thing, like I want to maybe more detail, more option in doing
Mm-hmm.
visual, and then it's like, okay, I can't avoid anymore. I want to do more than they offer, and
Mm.
but Hutchinson are also really hard. Okay, and
Right.
then I was like, okay, and then I give it a try to touch designer and it was like scary. It's like, oh look, this is the software. It's like I don't understand anything, and it was like, it just looks so scary. And at that time, the Stefan from the Node Institute,
Mm-hmm.
he make a beginner workshop in Berlin.
Mm.
I think there's not many people doing workshop in 2019. It was like quite new, even in
Mm-hmm.
Berlin here. And I was like, I attend one time, uh, and it was like 2 3 hour or something, and I was like, okay, I don't think I get anything out today. And then I do a second time, and and it's still like I still don't understand, even though the second time beginner. I still don't understand, but I watched some tutorial in the meantime. It's like some are easy, some are hard, but it was like a, yeah, like how can I pushing forward. I really
Mm.
like the result. I want to get better, but so I said like, okay, I'm gonna dedicate, I'm gonna commit, by learning something and
Mm.
post it online. Basically I start my
Mm-hmm.
Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
just focus on learning and post,
Mm-hmm.
2019. And of course at that time William already start doing the thing, and then I know like the community already happening at that time, like Joseph or William and Paketa also like
Mm.
inspiration. So basically like William and Paketa inspiration, and a lot of Matthew Reagan learning,
Yes, the OG,
yeah, the master
the
of
master,
all.
for
Like,
sure, for
and
sure.
it's easy to follow most
Yeah,
of the
a
time.
great teacher, a really good educator. Matthew
Really,
Reagan is
yeah,
also like he's also just a lovely guy. I was so happy to have him on the
very.
podcast. He's such a
And
nice
his
guy.
voice just like nice to follow, like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like for me, Talisana is already hard, and if like somebody like not really calm, it's like it's make it hard for me. It's like his voice is just perfect. It's like, okay, like very gentle and like introduce you with some small thing, and it's make my brain easier to digest,
Mm,
basically.
I love that. I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's amazing. And so I know we're kind of like stuck in this question of touch designer, but it's
Oh,
touch
good.
designer is touch designer is so important.
What is it? I was like,
I
okay, surprise.
I want to know like what are some tips or tricks or ideas that allowed you to master touch designer? Like what was the thing that made it click for you? What was the thing that made it like, you're like, okay, now I can teach it. Now I can, show people how to use it. Was there a moment? Was it over time? What was the process for that?
good question. Yeah, I like I I think it's a very selective of technique that I
Mm-hmm.
like kind of easy to be easy to open to share. Not
Mm-hmm.
everything, and it's actually very limited choice because I feel like to be able to like start from scratch or like explain node by node, operator by operator is still quite a lot to learn, and then like mostly very selective topic. So
Mm.
like audio reactive, and that's the thing. And I'm kind of lost your question. Like what you said as a question again, may I ask?
How did you master? Like, what was the thing that allowed you to master it, and how did you recognize that
Mm.
you're now on this level?
It's really hard kind of answer. I
Yeah.
think it's like since 2 years after I start to feel better about it because I have to say that like 2 years after I would be able to start from scratch. And I mean I can start from scratch earlier, but it's not many topic, many technique basically
Mm-hmm.
that I can
Mm-hmm.
like start to build and to get a proper result that I want. And I think that's because of mostly like audio reactive, uh, for sure, and also like point cloud where I like I have a strong urge to be able to understand it, like because I keep repeating something that I repeat a lot.
Mm-hmm. You get better at it.
It because you get better at it, and
Mm-hmm.
you kind of know it at some point. Like
Right.
there's not many like some visual with the audio reactive and some mostly point cloud. But in general, it's all about what technique are you using that I'm using more repetitive basically, and there
Mm-hmm.
are actually not many. But I like in the past I was confident with the sub operator because I came from 3D and then I can explain better. But at the end, TouchDesigner have such a, I would say like different way of creating the visual, like because
Right.
I use cinema 4D, and when you manipulate the polygon and stuff, it's like whoa, I didn't know how, why would you manipulate the polygon like that. And I was like surprisingly I'm trying to understand, but it's still the most easy to approach compared to the other. Okay, top is not that bad, but it's still like kind of tricky. uh, but chop definitely out of my comfort zone. But sub, yeah, sub is like a kind of fun, but it also like it's a little bit tricky with sub too because it's the like you can, because it's real time, right? You need to be careful about like how many points, how many polygons that you playing with, like, and resolution. So you have to kind of compromise your scene when you work with sub operator. But in general, if you can control that, it actually like for me it's like kind of nice to play with and then show people how to use it. And
For
particle,
sure.
like yeah, yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, there is like a huge difference between like a classic 3D rendering, linear 3D rendering,
Mm-hmm.
and like the the idea of data, right? Of like chops
Mm-hmm.
and sops and tops, and they're all kind of interconnected. And
Yeah.
that's, I think that, yeah, it's kind of like if you're coming into touch. I had this experience where I came into Touch Designer from a 3D background, like film and 3D background, and I was frustrated
Mm-hmm.
because the first thing I wanted to do in Touch Designer was volumetric lighting. I saw the
Oh.
potential. I'm like, oh, this is excuse me, procedural, generative. I can make these networks, and it kind of fit with my brain. But I was limited by the 3D. I couldn't do what I wanted to do in 3D, and this is also like almost 10 years ago, so it was like even worse back then. And
Mm-hmm.
if you have too many sops, then the frame rate just does not. It's too expensive. You can't do all the things, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
optimize, and then you optimize too much, and it doesn't look as good, and it's like this whole thing. And
Mm-hmm.
it took me like 2 or 3 years, and then I found Notch, which is like a much more
Mm-hmm.
kind of 3D oriented, node based kind of graphical system. And then eventually I got into Unreal, and that's kind of what I'm using now. But my point
Mm-hmm.
of saying this is that the if you're going into Touch Designer to try and do 3D, you might want to look at something else. But if you go into TouchDesigner with the idea of like, okay, I can do 3D in different ways, like you're saying, with point clouds, there's still a 3D interface, right? Still a three-dimensional interface. You can move a camera, there's lighting, there's texture, there's all the things you would expect from a 3D program, but you're not going to get the fidelity that you want. And I mean, nowadays, the truth is nowadays, you know, with T3D and with other people making like ray marching kind of stuff with Tommy's ray marching, there is ways to get really nice looking 3D. But it's never going to be the same as like Unreal Engine or, you know, Notch or stuff like that.
You have to compromise. I mean, you choose to have real time, but then like real time is like that. Come on, you can't have perfect 3D. Just admit.
Well, you can in Unreal. You can in Unreal. You know, you can if you want.
Oh, you have to coding a lot.
Yeah,
which is like...
for sure. You have to do a lot of coding.
You have to trade on something.
You have to always trade on something for sure. I think that also now with the advent of Pops that's coming to TouchDesigner very soon, there's going to be a big change in the way that we look at 3D in TouchDesigner. It might not be like the high-end visual, but I think that the way that we're going to approach you know, like just 3D geometry and, you know, the way that we can manipulate 3D geometry, I think is going to be a very interesting change to the way that
I'm looking forward for that, and how real time will be upgraded so much, and then people would think like, oh, this is like real time, and it would look better and better, just like you integrate with AI this day. Like it's gonna be not low frame rate anymore working with AI in TouchDesigner. Just everything
it's
is
exponential. You know, it just gets better and better and better. So super cool. I love how you kind of got into this, you know, you got deeper into TouchDesigner and the passion drove you forward. What made you start to do workshops? You know, Ploy does amazing workshops in Berlin and I guess all over the world, I guess. But, you know, what kind of, and you also have an amazing Patreon where you have lots of tutorials and information. What was kind of the driving force to want to teach, to want to share your information with people?
Yeah, I think everybody have I don't know, like if you I think you feel the same, like Alan, if you noticing like TouchDesigner community, everybody talk about it, right? Like everybody share knowledge. I mean, I'm living in Berlin, and the people that share the knowledge is just a strong presence, and it's nothing more than that. That I feel like I have the same feeling that I want to share because everybody also share. I mean, for me, it was not easy because of people, the other talent artists, like were sharing. Without them, I would not be able to understand by myself.
Right.
So when I understand it, and I feel like I kind of want to contribute the same, and
you want to give back.
Like yeah, exactly. I want to give back, and it's also a little bit of my character. Like when I learn the software, like it like in the past, it's with Cinema 42, with the TouchDesigner too. I like to play. So like when I the way I use the software, I'm like a kid. Like I want to know, like I want to experiment with this node, if this combination or this combination, and then when I discover something, it's like I'm actually happy about it, and it could be something new, and then I if I find something new, then I share, and this is like give me like not just share but exploring for my own thing when I discover something new to be like I don't know, some new technique or kind of thing. So this combination alone, and it just like keep me going on, and because like sometimes I lack of idea, I looking to other people that share, and then I combine with my own knowledge, and then I found something new, and then I share again. You know, it's like a cycle of learning from other people, create my own, and then if I find something, and then I share. So like
right.
This is the combination. Yeah.
Super cool. And how has that experience been for you? I mean, like whenever I do workshops and teach and impart, it's always a really good feeling. You know, and the classic thing of like, the more you teach, the more you learn, and, you know, you kind of get a lot of things from that. Has that been your experience as well? Has there been any little stories that you have there from your teaching experience that you want to share with us?
Yeah, actually, surprisingly, actually good. I mean, like I never thought that I would teach somebody. To be honest, like I'm doing my own visual commercial or whatever it is,
Right, right, right.
but when I share, I feel like actually the more I share, the more it's like it's the right thing because I memory like I have to memory and that is stuck in my mind a lot longer when I teaching somebody and and I have like small issue like when I need to uh, I need to like step back when I teach basically when I don't know like my level is it like sometimes you have your own audience and people following you. Some people are higher knowledge than you in some point, and then some are low. And I have to careful about like not too fast. You know, like the like I have to take my time to explain. But the more I take my time, the more I memory because like I have to teaching people are like a special. I think not everybody can learn things, but not everybody like or take it easy to actually teaching. And that's a I find it's like another skill completely. But when I do it, it actually like it's memorizing, but also like I double the step more than just like skipping the step. You know what I mean? Like
Of course.
to take time to explain. Not everybody will understand the way I understand, but it's just because you're like you're in the field of this
Mm-hmm.
knowing, and then when you're trying to put this
Express.
field out to people, yeah, put it out to people, and everybody are just different level, and if you're too fast, then not people will catch it, and then it give me a surprise. What I mean is like some people that has been followed, they are like, oh, they appreciate that what I give teach, but also for me like, oh, it's quite simple. But
Right.
it give me a reflection that I should take a step back forward, take more time, and not like jump to the next step and further because
For
like
sure.
I'm too much in my bubble. That's what I mean. like,
Mm. Yeah, well,
like
well, you
it's
get.
hard to yeah
No, please continue.
like but because I this is my knowledge, it is my bubble, but when I put it out, I don't know if it's useful for other people, or it's like I feel like oh maybe some people already know, but most of the time it's like oh it's good to know. It's like okay, it's always me that's like
Mm.
thinking that actually everybody know. It's like yeah, so
Yeah,
that's the
it's
point.
it's a crazy experience because like you said, like there's different people in different levels, and for you it's like you get it, right? It's like easy for you to explain it, but
Mhm.
then excuse me, you have to explain it to different people, different understandings, and when you do that, you have to like break it down to like its base
Yeah, that's the
level,
word, break it
and you
down.
understand it so much deeper. It's like a very interesting thing because like I had this experience whenever like I think, okay, what am I going to teach? Okay, I'm going to teach projection mapping. Okay, what is projection
Mm-hmm.
mapping? And then like I know what it is, and I have like
Mm-hmm.
lots of experience in it, and I know how to do it, and I have all these ways of doing
Yeah.
it. But
You're
then I
in the
have to like,
bubble
I'm in
of
the
the
bubble, yeah, and
projection mapping.
I have to like, okay, what is it? Like what really is it? And like break it down, and then build it up. And it's such a great it's something that's very hard for us to do, I think, on like a normal day to day, but it's so
Yeah.
valuable because it lets you kind of, or it pushes you into like the mindset of getting out of that bubble. Like, when you're
Yeah,
in the
true.
bubble, you can do a lot of things fast, and you're high level, and you're experienced, and you're good, and you're a master. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you want to like just like um, look at things at face value, or just like think of things outside of the bubble, right? Like outside of the box
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
True.
And it's such a good like thing to do, like on a daily as an exercise of like, okay, I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing, I'm really good at what I'm doing, but what can I do outside of that, right? Like what can I try
Mm-hmm.
outside of what I'm good at, almost.
And most of the time, you discover something new in
For
between, right? Like
sure.
it's like because like one field is always something you're missing out, and then if you take it slow, you tend to see more thing like you can grab. But if you're too fast, like I'm in my own bubble, I'm trying to like tend to be narrow minded. Like,
Right,
but
right,
if
right,
we
right.
actually take time, slow down, it's like, that's something I didn't look at it. This also I didn't look at it yet, and it's like, it's a lot more out there that I don't know.
For
Actually,
sure.
the more I know, the more I don't know.
The more you, yeah, the more you know, the more you don't know. That's like a
I don't
classic
know. Yeah,
Einstein quote, I
right.
think. The more you like
Oh, really?
I
It's just my
think
feeling,
yeah, yeah,
purely.
yeah. It's like a classic quote in science because it's like the more you know about science, the more you realize that we don't know anything.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things. And that
Mhm.
actually, right before we get to your set, I have one more actually question for you, and it's a good segue. The intersection between science and art. I know this is important for you. How do you express this? Obviously, we have data in TouchDesigner, and TouchDesigner in itself is scientific in a way because you're using math and you're using noise patterns that are based on simulation, and all these things kind of like connect. Where does it connect for you, and what does that look like for you?
In the
Science and
connection of
art.
science and art.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very interesting, right? Like you, especially with touch designer, I feel like if you use art and science, touch designer is just like perfect because you can review the data, right? Like the
Yes.
data that is being hidden in the air, or like in your brain wave, or you can turn into your brain wave into art, which is like
Mm.
i I never thought like we are arrived to the age of making art from your brain wave, right?
For
It's like
sure.
such a
Super
weird, like
sci-fi.
long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a cool thing. Like suddenly, when I talk about this, my mind like always think the word of like multidimensional. Like your art is a different dimension. If you could comprehend or create one, like you your eye seeing art, but actually the art driven by your heart rate, like
Mm.
something like that, or
Wow.
like a motion sensor, like you turn the light into a sound,
Wow.
like a different dimensional, but you make it more concrete in your own interpretation by
Mm-hmm.
using the tool like touch designer. And that's like I don't have a perfect example, but I just like want to say that is actually kind of we are in a good timing of like turn into art from the thin air of data information into your own perspective kind of
Mm-hmm.
art.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That actually kind of interesting. Yeah, that actually enough for me to like continue working in this field, because it's like it's pretty much related to human, right? Like in the
Mm.
past you're just looking at art where you just like, okay, cool, yeah, nice, bye. And now it's like you're part of the art. My heart rate
Mm.
can if you put in the right algorithm, giving a rule, set of rule, use your heart rate as a feed, and then you, I don't know, create some particle, and
Mm-hmm.
this particle is part of your heart rate, and then suddenly you like the art, and it's not like this too far disconnected to you anymore. It's just,
Right.
yeah, it's more human, kind of
Such an
related.
interesting take on it. I love that. I love that, like that intersection of, us being able to be the data, be the visual, is like
Mhm.
that connection. It's like, yeah, it's like the science fiction aspect of art, right? Of like, art
Mhm.
is an expression of the artist. Art is a interpretation of the audience, right? It's like those two things are
Mhm.
are always in some sort of fluid motion, right? And then
Mhm.
you add to that the audience being able to influence and interpret the
Yeah.
art. Sorry, not interpret it, but control the art and have their own influence. That becomes like
Mhm.
a whole new thing. This
Yeah,
is,
it's
I,
a
I mean,
very individual thing. Yeah, it's like
very
this
subjective for
art is very
sure.
individual. Yeah, so
For
that's
sure.
make it so beautiful,
Mm.
like a cymatic. Like if somebody
Yeah.
make a noise, and then you turn into put into the sand, and then this create a wave of shape. It's 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 such a abstract. I can't even think further, but I noticed that like this kind of combination is just my blowing. Like because
Yeah.
human like you make something human feeling, you turn into the art basically, like whatever it is. But
I
you're
love
not
it.
just watching the art anymore, but
You are the
you're
art.
part of it.
Yeah, you're part of it.
Yeah, you are the
This
art.
is
You're part of
for
it
me. This is
completely.
like why I fell in love with VJing and doing festivals and things, because to me, like, I would go to festivals and I would feel part of something bigger. Okay, I'm on a dance floor and there's a DJ and there's people, but it's like you feel one, you feel unified with everybody, and then it kind of like elevates the whole experience. And then when I went to become like behind the scenes and be the VJ, I felt this like sense of that, yeah, I'm controlling the visuals, but my visuals are controlled by the music, and the music is influenced by the people, and the people are dancing to the music, and it's like we're all kind of making this thing together, and it's like influencing each other, and it elevates the experience, like, yeah, you go to a
Yeah.
museum and you look at a picture, okay, you can be inspired by it, but you're not really doing anything. You're like,
Yeah.
it's done. The thing is done, and it is valuable, and
Exactly.
there's power to it, and I have nothing against like classical art, but it's a different
Sure.
experience when you can like touch the painting and play with the painting. It's almost like a window into the artist's intention. Like we have
Yeah.
intention with our art, and when you as the
Yeah.
audience can influence that, you're essentially like, yeah, it's like creating something completely new that's not just like my intention. It's bigger than that. It's like your intention and my intention creating something bigger.
Yeah,
it's
exactly. It's
it's
like
very
a
cool.
human and art are a lot more engaging than ever
Yes.
before. Like
Yeah.
if you can go to deep level, if you can imagine just like what was it, like a brainwave, heart rate,
The
or
heartbeat, I love
whatever.
that.
Like
Have you
anything.
made any pieces with the
Yeah.
heartbeat? With a heartbeat
No,
monitor?
I have so many lists that my list goes on. I want to
Yeah,
play.
for
I
sure,
have,
for sure.
but since I discovered TouchDesigner, I was like, damn, I have so many things to play. I'm not gonna. If I'm rich, I'm gonna play all of those that I have in my list. I'm not doing anything else. Like I never
Nice,
know
nice.
how the word bore is. Like since I found
You'll
TouchDesigner,
never be
it's
bored again.
always playing something. Yeah, no.
That's awesome. All right, well, I think we're going to get now into your set. Alrighty, we're going to
Okay.
jump into Ploy's screen. Super excited to see what she has ready for us. Take it away, Ploy. Ooh la la.
All right. Yeah, so basically, my nostalgic of chasing waterfall project is like my hardcore learning of touch designer. I was like, I create a lot of face effect during that project, and I'm just gonna show my patch,
Mm,
how I'm not gonna go into detail, but I'm just gonna show like different effect that I use for the face effect for the audience that they volunteer to have their face in the opera, and
mm-hmm.
I have developed many design like a effect face effect kind of thing, and so like I think this is like what I extract here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Uh, it's like a different phase effect that
Mm,
actually like 10%, 20% of the whole patch from the opera project. This is like a just extract it out just to show you here, basically. uh, so basically, like I got briefed that that the AI in the project basically showing the audience face, but they want the director wanted to have something like futuristic, of course, and I different kind of effect of futuristic, and I like, what kind of effect should I do, and then I've been developed many, and this is the kind of result. So basically, if we are looking inside, these three these three effect is called Terminator. If you know, like the movie Terminator,
yeah, of course.
that is like a, yeah, so like a metallic a robot kind of thing. And what I did is just like I create a tox file dedicated for one effect, basically. So this called like Terminator effect, and I have like uh, OBJ. Basically, this being used by the OBJ file, but I have to be careful about geometry, like could drop the frame rate. So I have like a poly reduce, so I can make it compromise to my uh, frame rate system. And yeah, then I add the texture like with the foam material here, and I have a diffuse material that combined with the normal. So that's why I could get this kind of effect. And yeah, it's like this one is the I think is the number. This is my original texture,
Mm.
and it's like a number base and with the noise and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, and then just put in the fonts.
Nice.
And yeah,
I
and
love that.
I make a right. Hmm.
Could we go back into it for a second? I love
Yeah,
that that like under the noise there's like a some sort of pattern changing texture. Is that like
pattern. Yeah. So
some
basically, it's a ready-made texture. Like
got you and you're
yeah,
okay, it's under
yeah.
it. Yeah.
So
I see, I
this is
see, I
like
see, I see.
I made video specifically, like render the video,
Gotcha.
and then I get make a normal map out of it,
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha.
basically.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. And then the other, so I make another texture. So this one is like a hexagon
And are you
pattern.
making this in touch as well, the textures? Like you're rendering them in touch?
Yeah, I
Or you're
make in
rendering
task and then I render. Yeah, and then I render and then create the.
super
At the
cool.
end, it's a video. It's a
Yeah.
video file.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
this one is a normal, and
Interesting.
yeah, it's. I was like, oh, this is quite simple. It make my patch kind of not so complicated, so I
Mm-hmm,
can
mm-hmm.
upload. So you kind of have to find the patch that is not too complex for the system, and this is I find it's like perfect basically. But
Interesting.
I think the director was not so happy about
Really? Why?
it doesn't look that detailed. Like I will
Gotcha.
show the others what they're more happy, but I mean the most important thing is the poly reduce. Like
Reduce. Yeah.
make sure that less polygon, and that's the original face scan of
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the idea. And then another one is the that's a proper Terminator for me. Like the look is like like I don't know, like what does it call, like P like a computer kind of
The
I don't know
T3 or
what
something.
yeah, I don't know what I call in English, but that's that's a texture. Yeah,
Nice.
with the
Like the
I don't know.
compute like computer like what is it called?
Yeah, what is it called? Yeah, I
I don't
don't know.
remember. Like circuit
Yeah, but
board, circuit board.
circuit board,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
circuit
circuit board.
board.
So this is like a the first one that I create, like to have like a Terminator kind
Uh-huh.
of effect.
Love it.
And yeah, is I use this one of the talks, and then I can create the talks where I can just be able to upload the file directly. Like I make my own
Mm-hmm.
talks, and then uh, I can make like
Ah, cool.
disappear. So I can like before it turn into a robot, and then
Right.
you normal human, and then you turn into a robot kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing, and I can have a rotation, like
Scale.
scale, yeah, just to be able to perform really fast, and that's the point. So yeah, and then I have another one. What am I going to here?
Uh-huh.
So this one is like a esky. Is it correct word? Like a SC SC style, right? Is that how to call it English?
SC style? I don't know this one.
S-
SC?
yeah, SC,
It's
right?
like
It's called SC.
I'm not sure.
ASC.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
I don't
yes.
know how to.
ASCII. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With the
Yeah,
numbers and
ACCII.
yeah, 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 for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
got you.
that's like yeah, and we use this one like for the main one of the
Nice.
main show, and of
Nice.
course I make the talk files, and uh, of course the main feature is always polygon reduce,
Polyreduce.
so
For sure.
I can make a less number here, or I can have like
Ah,
full number
nice.
basically. Yeah, and
Super cool.
less polygon and low polygon
I
of
love
the line.
I love your little note in the UI, you have like refresh Q, FX1, clean phase 2. Like there's such a like a small little like thing that I never seen that before. Like people putting the comments inside of the
You
custom
mean here?
parameters. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, because
That's a great
I
idea.
think it's not. Yeah, it doesn't work now because, like, I create so many talks file for
Yeah, for
myself. At
sure.
some point, I need to be able to remember like
For
what
sure.
dashboard,
For sure, for
and
sure.
the part of this effect, like I was breathing. I should be able to like switch to normal, so I have like a I have a
Nice.
tool feature where I can just see the face before, and then I
Slowly.
slowly, yeah, and then turn into
Nice.
more computery style.
Nice.
And yeah, that's like kind of my favorite that I've like what I've been developed, and is like one of the happy results basically.
Nice.
And
Is it
I can show you in
yeah.
Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Basically, it's like everything is like low poly, high kind of style. Like I have a face coming in, it's my original 3D scan, and then I have like I make a three different geometry. This is like a three geometry combination, basically. So like one we only have a number
Mm-hmm.
only, and
Instances?
uh, instancing with a number. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So like here tx ty tc uh, with the text td
Text
as a,
three.
yeah, take 3D, text as 3D for the constant material,
Nice,
like
nice.
for the color map here. And then I have like noise just to like so I can have like a more randomized, like
Right.
without like, and then just moving slow, and then if
Nice.
I increase, and then it's change the number like more rapid,
Nice.
basically. So the other geo is also, it just like a wireframe, like a line
Yeah.
combination. Yeah, and uh, I can, yeah, like I said, I can have like higher geometry or low, so like super low poly. And the
Mm-hmm.
other one is just a uh, full geometry with
Yeah.
the, of course, low poly. And this combine three of them, and then so I can be able to switch
Switch between them. Yeah.
yeah, switch
Nice.
between them. Yeah,
Very nice.
so that's the idea. But yeah, like a lot of talks like this at the end of the show, and it's like what I can compromise. It was so scary at the time. I don't know much about TD, and it's like where can I make it like not so much cooking, basically.
Right. 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 Not so much expense. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, expensive. Yeah. So and then another one. This is like, oh, it's pretty low frame rate. Something maybe it's too high when we reduce to polygon. Okay, so this one is, yeah, this one is a
Ooh, it's
happy
cool.
result. Yeah, so
Nice.
like normal phase, and then full
Cool.
polygon. Like this is like super happy result. Like I play around a lot, and then I discover this effect, and can show you the patch. Basically a similar thing, except the SCD number.
ACI.
Okay. SCI. Oh, I can't say it properly. SCI. Yeah, SCI. Correct. And yeah, it's the same. Like, but base is quite simple, but with the delete sub,
Ah,
so you
yeah,
can.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I can
Nice.
have a, if I have a full polygon, and then I can have less polygon, like with the delete effect.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
cool. So
It's
simple
and
but so
then
effective.
yeah, I was like, oh, I'm happy discover about this one, and yeah. So of course, less. It's perfect, right? Because it's like you want to find the effect that it doesn't, it's too expensive. When you reduce the polygon, and it's like look good, I take it. you know, like it doesn't have that much polygon, and it still look good, and that's what we want in this kind of
For
live show
sure.
and stuff like that. Yeah,
For sure.
and I'm pretty happy about like full, and then we get into the polygon, and yeah, and then I mean, like I have another scene where I have I think I show in my website, where you just open from my website. Basically, like I have like many face all at once, like just
Mm-hmm.
like laying around, which is like basically this is how my patch look like for a scene where we need to show many faces at once. So
Mm-hmm.
I have like a main control for my talks, like play with the how detail of the point. Luckily, like a lot of face like this is like only work with the PLY, like basically point cloud, because it's very light. You can't use a OBJ, because like
Mm-hmm.
two material that I use for the faces effect,
Mm-hmm.
like OBJ and PLY. And if you want if you to do a lot of faces at once, the PLY is only a goal basically. So that's why the
Mm.
effect has to look like this. But at least it's actually pretty detailed. Like you don't need OBJ to have look realistic like face like this. So it still give you a good recognizable kind of face.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I have some feedback which is don't not really use, and then there's a bloom effect like a glow, but I didn't connect because it's like 5 year 2022 project, and I didn't get to connect things proper. But I just want to show that like this talks that I have like uh, is the 7 phase in one file, which is like half of what I did in the past. But it just
Mm-hmm.
like just to show you that how my system of the patch of the project is it look like. So like have a point file in, and then you can play, and then you have a rotation. So I can have
Oh,
like as
cool.
a center, or I can have a scale, and so I can adjust them really fast. And but the tricky thing is you can't know which one, so you have to like which one is that,
Right.
like,
Right. 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 Who
because
is
it's like
it?
a seven of them. Say which one is
That's
which one.
funny.
Like okay, yeah, this one. But when you do something else, you come back, you still don't know which one is which one in the uh, my setup. So it's like pretty tricky. And yeah, so that's the idea. I can show inside how it look like. So basically, I pair the face with the one talks, one face, and inside it's just like PLY white cloud setup, and yeah, and
Oh,
just
nice.
to make it separate. And then I have a noise, which I'm not sure they use the noise, but yeah, and a very basic, just to separate them properly, so I don't get confused. And so this geo read the point file in here, and so on. So like another geo and another geo with another PLY face. Yeah, and yeah, I'm happy. Like this one is kind of light. It's not so heavy because it's PLY. So you get the CC detail. Like PLY format is just like the best.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's my
super.
own format, you know. Ploy is a Ploy format.
Ah, yeah. PL.
It's my
That's
kind of
funny.
joke. Yeah,
That's really funny.
like start to use this joke more often, like that Ploy, not PLY.
That's
But
great.
I mean, I take advantage my own
It's
granted.
very versatile, right? It's a very
Yeah,
versatile
it's super
kind
light,
of
and then you can
super
see
light.
the
Yeah.
detail of the face. Yeah, and you get all the color, everything. And you know, I okay, OBJ is good too, but I mean, for real time, PLY is just like perfect. Like you get
Yeah.
all the detail, the color, and everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, so
That's
yeah, that's
awesome.
basically. yeah, that's basically my passion. And there's a lot more in this project, but I just want to show that I was like kind of happy of the phase effect that I've been like researched for half a year, like actually quite long time. Like what kind of effect? How do I make a system out of to make a stable system? And I got the
Mm-hmm.
help with Stefan of the Node Institute too at that time. Like he helping me create not the phase effect. This is my own discovery, but he helped me to create a stable system to when I perform live with the 50 phases at once basically,
Mm,
and be able to switch one scene to another, which is like quite
nice.
tricky and yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
like
very
pretty
tricky.
happy.
Super cool. And all these UI elements, do you make these UI elements in like
Yeah, I
After
did it After
Effects
Effects.
or After Effects?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
After Effects. And then I
Cool, cool, cool.
import as a video file
Nice.
basically. It's
Love
just
it.
like a rent like a loop animation, like really
Yeah,
short, like 3 second, yeah, three
yeah.
second loop or something, and it's enough. Yeah. So that's pretty much quite simple. The rest is just the system, how to make a stable system, basically.
Was there something that was really important for you to do to make it more stable?
Yeah, it's actually a lot of factor. Like it's not just my system that should be stable, but the file that I receive, it should be small as possible, but small
Mm-hmm.
in the way that it's recognizable. Like you can scan all you want, but
Mm-hmm.
if it's not recognizable but small, then it's not useful. If it's like look good but it's too big, it has to be in
Right.
the middle. You have to fine tune, and you have to know like what the format, because like they have a lot of export format
Mm-hmm.
where you can like the axes are completely totally different. Like they have like cinema for the 3D format, they have like a Maya format kind of thing, and when you export like the axis direction are they completely different. Some they
Mm.
rotate backwards, some they rotate in different direction, and how much detail that you want to export. That's a lot of things. Until you fine tune to what you want, you have to export a lot and import to TouchDesigner to see how it works, and is it your overall how much you can contain the faces in your system at once, and that's the
Interesting.
tricky part. Yeah. Yeah,
Fascinating.
but of course, like my effect need to be like to find this effect that actually simple enough, but it look good at the same time. Like everything
Right.
is have to work in the middle ground together, and it
Right.
was like yeah, probably challenge. It's not just a system, but also like all the effect that being used has to be uh, has to be compromised, not too complex, hash or
Right. Well,
whatever it
using
is.
using rendered textures is gonna make a big difference, right? Because you don't have to like
Yeah,
process
exactly.
them or anything.
Exactly. Original texture of this is actually I made the whole network of
Mm-hmm.
this like reaction diffusion from William
Uh huh.
technique,
Uh huh.
and
Uh
then
huh.
like yeah, but why should I keep the network? I could just render it out, and then
Right.
there was like suggestion, and then it's like yeah, make it everything a lot more simpler, and then I
Yeah.
render it out. I was like okay, that's it. Like if you don't need to build a whole network, if you can render something, even the talks you should do that. Like I actually learned that with Stefan that you have your own 3D coming in, you manipulate them in between this and that, small, big, whatever. You can export as the like
As the
save
final,
geometry
right, save geometry.
as a
Yeah.
talk,
Yeah.
yeah, a talk file, which is like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know about it. Yeah, you can save as a talk, and actually it's super
Nice.
helpful. Like then you don't go to cook them again. You just like
Mm,
upload them, and then they're good. But that's a double process, of course. Like
of
if
course.
but that's necessary process if you do a big project like this, and yeah. So it was like super useful to know all the tricks like this, and yeah,
Very cool. I love how
basically.
it's so funny that you are showing us this, and this is also what I was talking to you about. You said that at the
Yeah,
beginning, but
I was like
I
amazing.
love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah. I'm happy to show. Like I kind of miss them. That it's like I put so much energy, and I feel like it's nice to share, bring
Yeah.
it back like 2022. So basically, is the You see my screen?
Nice. Yes. Love it. It's like
So bas
what is that toy called? The pin toy?
yeah, it's the I don't remember the effect. I talk in my I talk about it in my tutorial. There's a certain um exactly that was exactly the name of the effect,
Yeah.
but not animation of course. But I mean originally this is like huge help from Matthew Reagan tutorial,
Yeah.
and I developed my own style. So basically, like let me reduce some because it's super mixed. And let me, oh, yeah. So I have followed Matthew structure. So he has like a process and instancing. So process is like you have a yeah feed in video. It can be your video, but uh,
Mhm.
I made the NVIDIA background, and then you whatever video that you can feed it in, you get rid of background with this setup. Like I
Mhm.
actually have a talks for that, and yeah, so like yeah. So you have like get rid of background. You can it can be your camera, but it also like can be a video footage of the person dancing, and you feed into the as a like low pixel image. It's like really small. Like it was. Let me check with resolution. Oh yeah, here. Yeah, like 80 by 60. So basically, like we play with the pixel of the feeding image to be like a low pixel kind of video effect, like video camera effect. Then I put some feedback here, so you get the motion movement, and then you get the pixel of yourself. And
Mhm.
let me stop reducing the camera. Yeah, just make center. Yeah, and then like the idea is to and then I use like this to be an instancing, put the grid on like a, and then I have a grid for for with the same resolution. Use the row and column to be a resolution of the image, and then
Mhm.
to have each pixel to fit the in one grid basically, and then use that as instancing for geometry here. But inside of this is this one. So we go inside. You have like all kinds of 3D object to be your pixel mapping.
Mhm.
So, for example, like uh, you can have just the dot like this. Yeah. So you can have like a dot as a person dancing, but you can also combine with the uh, a tube, and I have a tube combination, and then I just gonna combine them, and then I have like a different shape of the person. And let's zoom in. Oops. So you see the texture, how it yeah. So I because I have like a pixel, I replace the pixel with the torus basically. And if I don't want the torus, and then it's just gonna be the like look like an arrow, which is like I have an arrow in here. And you can also it can be anything. So I put the text. You can have a text as your pixel. So you see like a pixel on the person. So it's kind of fun to combine different object to be part of your body basically. And
Super cool.
yeah, can type any text. um, oh yeah, here I have text, and I can type visual cast.
Nice.
Yeah. So now we have visual cast as the person dancing. Something like that. And I was just like, yeah, then I play around, and because it's like you can always combine with the object. And yeah, it's I like to play with the with the interactive, like a camera effect. I like personally like it, and start to create more like different kind of camera effect basically. And yeah, you can like, I mean, like I start using a lot more NVIDIA background. Actually, a little bit sad because I can't use Mac anymore. But then, okay, Windows has a good thing, so I can just yeah use any video to be you don't have to use your camera, so it can be any person. It's just like kind of nice effect. And I think it can be up to 2 person or something when you use NVIDIA background, if I understand correctly. But anyway, it's like it's amazing when you don't have to like get rid of the background by yourself. You just use NVIDIA background in TouchDesigner. It's super handy. And I create a talks file every time when I work on something. I have a I create a talk file, and I think I have this one NVIDIA background remover. I also share in my pattern basically. So it's like, yeah, you see there's a delay, but I have like something like to work with the delay inside. But it's like you plug in, you get rid of the background, but you have to work
Nice.
with the blur immediately. So this is the original setup, but I make a talks of it just so you
To
can use
reuse it.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think it's still, like the delay is quite intense. You have to fine tune, like every video are different.
To
So
find the right delay.
yeah, the right delay, like I think like cache, like you have to play with cache, like how many second the delay, because like you see like how it moves. So that's like a little bit tricky, but it's good enough. Like just you get completely the whole background. It's like I think it's just coming out. Since it's coming out, like it's saved alive a lot. And I like to do camera effect. And when you do camera effect, you don't want background, so it's super
Right.
useful. Yeah.
It's interesting
So
how
yeah, that's
the low poly is like it's interesting how that's the that the effect is kind of like works so well even though
mhm.
it's so low poly. I guess it's just
Yeah,
like the instancing
basically you
just
can
works
watch
really well.
exactly. Yeah, and then you can put any
Any
texture, and
geometry.
it's like yeah, any geometry exactly. It can be anything.
Nice.
So I think this is called the shore.
The shore.
This you
Cool.
see my screen?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Ah, yeah. So it's
Oh,
personal
yeah.
because yeah, it's personal because it's like it's the second tutorial that I make. And when this is like when I be able to start from scratch by myself, like to to not just start from scratch, but also like um, uh, understand it and make it my own style, for the like my own direction without any influence from anybody. Because like when I learn, it's like I always get somebody else like style, or like start from somebody. But this is like I'm quite happy like that I like build the design everything by myself and then start from scratch. But there's a background story about it, because it's like I find it so simple again, my bubble, right? Like I always like thinking in terms of my bubble. It's like it's too simple, but I don't know. But well, it's my first time that I make my own visuals. Like why not sharing it? It's actually the most popular effect. Like everybody love it. I get so much feedback by this. But the funny thing about it, I was like, I'm not sure. But I like to put it out because it's like my very first, but nothing more than that. Like not like completely super happy, but then it's just like everybody love it, like really love it. Like it gets so much good feedback, and I was like, okay, uh, like don't believe your thinking. Like your
Right.
thinking can lie to you.
Self,
And this
yeah,
or
self-deprecating or self-limiting.
yeah, or like you stuck with your own thought for a long time, and doing this like I it's been 2 years, but everybody keep doing it, this tutorial, and it was like super successful, and everybody talk about it, and I have a like tag from people when they do, and it was like 2000 year 2021 was like everybody like it, and I have like super high view, and it was like it's just like personal because like it's fine, it's just too simple. It's just one of tutorial in the market, whatever. But it's like what is it too good anyway. It's a grid basically, like create a simple grid from this, and then just add the uh, basically I bend it with a twist sock. Oh, really can't really see, but like I bet it with the twist twist up, and then like add some noise and can have more noise, and very simple basic. But I think the idea to make it look good is like to play with the I add the fracture. The fracture is actually
Mm.
interesting. Sub operator you can like, this is like one of the sub that make this kind of effect that I discover, and it's kind of nice idea, but like you can see that it's like very expensive. Don't go crazy about it.
Yeah.
And but the detail of your line is a lot more detail, and
Mm.
yeah, interesting operator.
Mm.
And pretty extremely simple patch, but like if you love minimal, like this is like you don't need much. You just like get the um, a grid, like simple sub operator, but it still can be very expensive because like noise sub is like cooking a lot. Like you see, like boom, you get your frame rate back so much, but like
Damn.
noise is yeah suck all your CPU GPU, and yeah, and then I have like particle as the like environment, like you make when I create the scene in the past, I like to add particle just to have like atmospheric, like a dust flying through the scene. It just make a lot different when you just have a like visual, simple visual, like dust or particle, like cherry on top kind of thing, like make it look nicer. And yeah, and then the most hero is like a line material. So if you play with the line material, it's just so much to explore that you can
Mm.
aesthetic about it.
Mm. Nice.
And yeah, it's quite personal because like a story. But I
It's so
mean, like
pretty.
yeah, and now I'm looking at this like actually placing my eye because it's a minimal, but also like I mean because I have a good feedback. If I didn't put it out, I would not know that it actually um, yeah, people like it. So I would just say that it's just one of the visual, nothing special. But yeah, but
No,
actually yeah,
it's
it's
really
good. And
pretty.
then yeah, thank you. I just playing around, and I it take me quite long time to find this kind of like the way
It's
the
also a
way the
great
light and moving up.
yeah, it's also a great like tutorial kind of thing because it's like you said, it's like there's simple, but it's also like a lot of techniques in one where you're combining like
Hmm.
these two things. It's
Yeah,
super cool. I love this the line material is a very interesting is a very interesting one. I don't think I've ever used it that much. I've used the wireframe, but not
Okay.
the line material.
Hmm.
It's a very cool
It's
effect, huh?
yeah, it's like you have so much feature like because like you can play with the distant near
Mm-hmm.
and distant far. I lost the detail, but you can also like just disconnect the line, just get the point only. You get
Oh,
like you
interesting.
get only the point of
Oh, wow.
the polygon, or you can have like a weird vector kind of thing. Where yeah, now it's too expensive,
Ooh,
but
interesting.
it's a yeah, it's super weird, like a weird
Yeah,
material. And then I've
yeah,
been
it's really
playing for
weird.
2 years, and it was just like when you do a visual like 2D, and then I like to end up playing with the line. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
always need the line. Maybe I just need the point of it, like just like the my camera no the chasing waterfall the face effect. So I use the technique of like just generate the point
The
for
point.
me, not
Right.
yeah, and line and point also like a good looking like if you have like a big something like this also look
Interesting.
nice. So it has a lot of parameter to play with, and I think
Yeah.
and like a
Yeah, I gotta check
another
this one
thing, you
out.
can have a transparency also. It's super tricky, but also like line material it work with the camera. Like if you place the camera further and far away, it definitely affect the width
It
near
affects what
and
it looks.
far. So if yeah, exactly. So that's why when you use the wireframe material is a lot more simpler, so you get the result how it look. But if you use the line, uh, can be tricky with the camera because of like distant near, distant far, with near, with far. So, but still, like give you a choice, and that's the what I want. Like you have more parameters to play with, and you can like play. You can get interesting look just because they have more parameter, and that's the idea. And point and line and vector and yeah, I never play those. So and the other nice thing is the like you can play with transparency, which is like super useful. So yeah,
Nice. I love it. Thanks for
and
showing
and
this.
yeah,
It's so
pretty
nice
much.
to see something that's personal for you as well. Like to see, your beginnings and where you came from and where you're going. It's just really
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, it's very personal thing that it gets very popular for a long time. Like people still talk about it. It's like what people still like. I mean, I also like selling the patch in the platform. It's just like going wild. This one. I mean,
That's awesome.
without doing it, I was like, I would not know, right? It's just like super weird. But it's a good. It also like this project, this look like the show. It's called the show. Give me like a good feeling of continuing touch designer too.
Hmm.
Like oh, it support my feeling because I was like at this time touch designer was still really hard for me, and but
Hmm.
I like trying to push the boundary a lot. Like it gave me like a good feeling to moving forward, and that's why it's like a little bit personal, and,
Hmm.
and yeah, that's the story behind it.
Nice. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
How
awesome.
can I?
Thank you for sharing all this. It's really nice to get to see, more and more into your process. Yeah, so as I said, thank you so much for sharing your process and getting us into a little bit more of, what is Ploy and how does Ploy work, which is always a
No
fun thing
problem.
to get to see. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you mentioned to me before that you are, I don't know if it's public, but if not, we don't have to talk about it. But if it is, then you're opening up a office in Berlin with
Oh,
two other
I would be
artists.
happy to share. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to just kind of hear how that kind of came to be. And, sometimes we forget the benefit of, especially like, we're all sitting in our rooms, in our offices at home, and we're all by ourselves. I've been very lucky to be able to work in studios with people around.
Mm.
And it makes a
Oh,
huge
nice.
difference when you get to collaborate with other people, and,
Yeah.
work off of each other and talk to each other. And yeah, you can kind of get the same effect sometimes if you work in like virtual rooms, but there's something so valuable about being in person. And it's awesome that you
Mm.
guys are doing something like that. So yeah, please share with us a little bit about that and kind of like what has the experience been like, and what are you guys planning on doing in this space?
Very interesting. I mean, like I'm happy to share because we will release to the our community soon, and something we are in the planning process right now. Basically, me and William Electronel and Martha Pang, we get to know each other very very well for the last 3 years, and we basically make us a lot more closer because of like last year we've been working together in Bali as an art residency that we're teaching touch designer in Bali, and we were together like fully 1 month, 1 month and 2 weeks or something. And then a year later, William was found the space that is like too good to be true, and I agree now. Automatically, I wouldn't say yes, and it's just like we not found the space. The space found us because it's like we
Nice.
have like 100 square meter, which is like huge space, and the rent is like affordable, and we also like the fact that in Berlin here we meet Tajikistan artists. Like we like to meet up regularly, based on our experience with the Node Institute, where we have like the round table, the Node round table for past 5 years, and we like the idea of we are meeting at least once a month regular in the community, not just us, because we are good friends, but we have so big community that we meet them regular from not just like the Node Institute, but a different project,
Mm-hmm.
different event in Berlin, and now we have a chance to create our own, and it's not just like a meetup, but we were also planning to do like a workshop where we can share the knowledge, or just come and play, meet and greet at the office, and yeah, we want to release, and but we would need like a support for the crowdfunding, because like something that we didn't expect that is happening, but it feel like we have a chance to do it, and we want to gathering everybody to be part of us, as
Mm-hmm.
many as possible, even though you're not in Berlin, even though you're somewhere else. But I'm sure like somebody come to Berlin, and then you are like TouchDesigner, or doesn't have to, but TouchDesigner, like you're welcome to visit us, and then hanging out in this huge space, like, and it's the weird that because the space is so big, like 100 square meter, and we want to separate the room properly. We have like a big hall where we can like host the event in the middle hall, uh, either workshop or live performance, but we also have a room where you can just plug and play with the projector, that you can like experiment doing something, experiment with touch center, with the camera, with the sensor or whatever. Like we wanted to have like a playground and meet and greet kind of space. So that's the idea of like uh, yeah, of the space to be community based as possible, because we see the potential, like how the community is just like so gathering all the time in Berlin, and we like to be part of this, like even more to offer our place, that we can whatever share the knowledge, doing art together, learn something together, or we just enjoy live performance, anything that somebody want to perform something, like it can be anything based on what we are doing, like interactive art or whatever, or learn touch designer together. So it just like a playground for all of us, just to have an opportunity. Yeah, it's just like a little bit sad because it's a bit outside of Berlin. It's not that bad
Uh-huh.
because we have like a train station close by, but yeah, other than like a bit further out of the city, it's just like a great space to be gathering in the future. And we see that potential, and we want to make this happen, and we're gonna release soon, within maybe next week already. Actually quite recent. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
exciting, and such a nice thing to have. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of frame rate weirdness here. What's going on?
Oh.
Oh, oh, oh,
Oh.
oh. Okay. There we
I'm
go.
back.
Such a nice thing to have, like a space like that where you can, have other people come and inspire more people and have people have a space to learn. Like, so it's so important for a community. And like, we've said this a few times during this conversation, the Touch Designer community is so amazing. It's so tight.
Strong
It's
and
so
good love,
many
and yeah.
smart people that share information. Everybody's so giving and sharing that it's any way that that's a big part of that I do the podcast, is that it's a way for me to give back in some way, to not just
Yeah,
the
I
Touch Designer
appreciate it.
community but
Like
in
I'm
general.
I'm happy that you're making this. Actually, I want to say before like end of the show, because I wrote when you contact me, I was like, hey, somebody doing this. It's so great, because I saw from there, and then I was like, oh, finally, like a proper podcast that is like focused on the how everybody doing things in
Mm-hmm.
the live performance kind of industry,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I really, like I said, it's a way for me to give back to the many communities that have helped me in my career and in my journey. So it feels very good for sure. So good luck with that space. I
Thank you.
hopefully will be in Berlin more and more this year, and then more and more next year, and hopefully
I
we'll have
would
a
love
chance to come there as well.
to have meet you in person, and yeah,
For
welcome to
sure.
our place,
We
and
almost,
we'll
we
send out
almost
to the
this
world.
last trip, we had such almost
Right,
being able
yeah.
to meet, but
Way too
it was such a
short that you
short,
visit Berlin. I mean, you came from the other
just
side
too
of the
short.
earth, and it was
Yeah.
too short.
I have like a real job, so whenever I'm
Oh,
allowed to
okay, makes
go,
sense.
it's luckily I'm allowed to travel, but I can't take advantage, like if I go for a few
True.
days, that's okay, but if I go for a few weeks, it's a little bit, not so fair.
Yeah, too far.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
understand.
things will always things will change as time goes for sure. So
Hmm.
kind of moving on into a little bit more kind of open conversation.
Hmm.
I I'm not sure what your take is on all of this, but I'm interested to see where we can talk about and how we can talk about it. But excuse me,
Hmm.
point clouds as like a conceptual, in a more like, I like to say esoteric, but it's not necessarily esoteric. It's just more like conceptual or abstract. They're like atoms or like like particles within our universe, within our world, and kind of the way that everything's kind of made up of
Of
particles
the
and atoms
atom,
and this kind of idea, right?
right?
Do you ever think
Mm.
about this when you play with them? Do you ever think about like what the connection is between the visualization of these points and kind of how they are being expressed through your art, and how that relates to kind of the physical nature of reality? It's a big question, I guess, but
Actually, pretty deep. I mean, to be honest, I haven't made the connection of the point cloud is the atom, and then you form as a shape or form. It's like, wow, that's so deep. But I'm more spiritual in a different way. But I like the idea. But I'm more like approach to like it's my new way of like photograph thing, right? Like you
mm,
photograph something, but more 3D. I don't know if in the future might not take a look, but it's nice to capture whenever I'm traveling, I was screen scan thing, and it have been unique places I'm traveling, start traveling around the world, and then I scan thing, and it's like they are completely opposite side of the world, and it's
mm,
nice to see them in 3D space. Like you can rotate them, look from
mm-hmm.
top angle, but mostly not because you can't scan from the top that
That's
much.
right. That's right.
But you feel the environment, how the original look like, and it's not like flat 2D. And
Mm.
it's been my obsession in the past. I scan a lot less these days. I'm getting tired. I've been scared for 3 years straight, like nonstop, like wherever
So it's
I
like
go.
almost
And
like
it's
a window into a memory for you.
yeah, it's true, exactly. Like you can rotate and then you see like this is the a place I've been, but
Mm.
it you want to photograph it, but 3D photograph kind of
Yeah,
thing. But I
yeah.
also like
Interesting.
yeah, but I like to think it's as an atom, like it's interesting concept. But I
Well,
mean, like I usually sorry,
no, no, please continue.
no, it's okay. I mean, like my thought is just stop right there.
What is when
What
you
you say?
said you're spiritual in a different way? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, like if you noticing my artwork when I make an artwork in Instagram, I always have like message like in the past I do it a lot, but I start doing a lot less because I don't want people to take so much bullshit. But I have like I when I resonate with something and then I make a visual and then like I make a visual related to my current message that I want to say, like mostly about thinking, like not meditation, like spiritual kind of level, like my message. I always have some message that I like to put it out
Share.
and
Yeah.
not just like sharing. It's not just like making some art, but actually most of the time it's connecting to some kind of thought that I had before or something resonated with me before, and then I want to share as a
Mm.
message. Like mostly it's about like thinking brain or like stop thinking, don't think too much or something
Right.
like that,
Like just be
because
in the
it's like
moment.
be in the present moment
Mm.
exactly, like how to calm the mind, find the balance, and then and this kind of um, uh, like a soothing message kind of thing that is we have like you can have all kinds of bad news or whatever online, people will stimulate your thought feeling, but I want to most of the time message something like calm down, like find your peace, or like stay with the present moment, kind of thing, stop thinking too much. And
Mm.
yeah, because this is like what most of the time like I resonate with this because it's teaching myself too, and the more I plotted it out to the world, it's also teaching myself like um, something that stimulates you. You should, it doesn't have to be overreact or anything, just like calm and stay with the present moment. And this message is when you social media, like everybody have the same effect, right? You compare your like all kinds of things, you stimulate your feeling. It's a lot of things that coming to your emotion and the thinking process. and
Yeah.
and maybe I'm the one who just like don't think about anything, just no thinking, just chill, just yeah.
Mm.
Maybe one of the message.
I love that. I love that. And I do feel that in some of your artworks. I mean, there's some of your artworks have like a lot of sacred geometry in them and kind of like this, very
Mm.
um, um, like symmetrical kind of feeling. I feel like a lot of times
Mm.
symmetry is like the antithesis. I mean, it's obviously the antithesis of chaos, but in a spiritual
Mhm.
sense, like there's something about both of them working together. Like a lot of times I like to use a lot of sacred geometry in my works, but also like platonic solids,
Right.
just because you're
Hmm.
using a very basic shape from reality, from nature that resonates.
Yeah.
It resonates with
Hmm.
us. Like whether it's because we're made from the same, laws of evolution as the rest of the world,
Hmm.
or maybe there's some sort of intricate design process. I don't really know. I don't think it really matters, what
Hmm.
you believe in. It's more of just like what the actual subjective thing, or sorry, the objective thing is, that like these shapes exist in nature and nature makes us feel a certain way, and because of that, then
Hmm.
there's something very powerful in them and they resonate. And then when you infuse the idea of intention into your work, like your intention being take a moment, breathe, relax, then it can
Hmm.
become very
Hmm.
powerful. It can really help people be better. And going back to what
Hmm.
you were saying before of like how the intersection of art and science, when we're at a point right now where you as the person can be the art, you can kind of
Hmm.
embody the art. We're getting to a point where art can art already can heal people, but now we're getting to a
Hmm.
point where it's like less abstract, right? Maybe it's like it's not just color science or light healing or like the idea of like different shapes and icons doing something to you. We're getting to a point where maybe you can actually affect your experience, your physicality through art.
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
there's a group called the Cyberdelic Society that I'm a part of, and a lot of what they're doing is taking the research that we have from psychedelics and from plant medicines and kind of this idea of like, different, altered states, dreams, and this kind of near death experiences, and quantifying it through science and research, and then creating experiences in VR and through interactive installations that can trigger or emulate or bring these experiences to you. So now we're using art to induce people into some sort of state or experience that can then in a way heal them. And I feel like that's like such a powerful thing to be, it's because of the time that we're in with the technology. It's such a powerful concept, of being able to show something to somebody. And you said it so nicely, like social media is such a place of like, we waste our time and we're comparing, and it's so
toxic. Like if your
toxic.
mind is not strong enough, you can get lost and then down
Totally.
your emotion a lot.
Yeah, it lowers you. So if we're putting stuff onto social media because it's a good way to like get to people, then we should be putting stuff that's going to help people, right? Or at least, it doesn't have to be like specific like self-help, but our art should have the intention of, I want you to look at this and feel good about yourself, or I want you to look at this and
like a
and
positive
experience
message.
Positive message.
Where you swim into information or bad news or fake news or whatever AI fast-paced show want your attention kind of content, which is like so easy to find, want to catch your attention, which is like so expensive. Your attention is very expensive. You shouldn't give to anybody so easily this day, because you need the more you give away, the more you lose yourself, right? Kind of thing. You lose yourself, you lose your creativity, whatever you want to focus, and yeah, totally agree. And if the message can, but it's not that popular. The message that is like, oh, take your time slow. Maybe it's not that popular, but be one drop of good water. At least what you can do, right? And
that is a great one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And so, just to form it into like maybe a question of some sort, like, is there something or a mechanism or like even an intention that you put into your work to try and focus this attention into something? Or is it more just like, you are a positive person and therefore your work is going to express that?
You mean like what my intention for the artwork in general?
Yeah, like do you make sure to have this strong intention when you're making things, or is it just kind of because you're in the space, then it's gonna be expressed?
Usually it's like flow in the space,
flow
because
state.
because like most of the time I listen in YouTube or whatever. It's my favorite topic to listen is like spiritual, of course, and
Spiritual poems, did you say?
something. No, special video. Like I tend to listen to something that suits my mind in general. Like for I have a podcast, I have a YouTube channel where I follow that is like a resonant with me. But most of the time, it's about like how to calm the mind, how to stay with the present moment, and
Nice.
not how to find peace or find a balance with your own everyday life kind of thing.
What
It's like
YouTube channel, just out of interest? I'd love to know.
Uh, a lot actually,
A
but
lot? Okay. You have to send
I
me
start to
later. I want you to
listen.
send me, please.
Yeah. One channel maybe you can listen to. Like I really like him. Robert Grant.
Robert Graham?
Robert Grant.
Grant.
He's
I'll
a
check it out.
Grant. He's one that like make me resonate a lot more with the sacred geometry, and he's almost like a polymath kind of person. He's
Oh,
good at
cool.
music.
I see.
You found
Very
him?
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Robert Grant. Yeah,
Robert Edward Grant, is that it?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, I
like I
love it.
listen one of the favorite, and he's good at music. He's good at art, but also like he's like extremely know about mathematics, and then he talk a lot about the geometry, how the geometry that is like a foundation of the reality, and it's different shape, different kind of form of reality, and it was fascinating,
Yeah.
and that's like make me want to create some kind of geometry line in TouchDesigner, and that's
Amazing.
actually quite popular post that I made for Metatron, and it was like
Yes.
holy shit, and it was like everybody love it, and because it's I did not expect anything. I just want to have geometric line, like sacred geometry in my art. I just want to use that as a main element to integrate. Like I never done it properly before, and now I want to do it like consciously. And when I do consciously, it's like wow, everybody like it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to the right direction. But it's I have a strong urge of creating artwork that integrate with the sacred geometry that happened to be a Metatron, and
Amazing.
I found it like soothing for myself.
Yeah.
But then like and then I found it's soothing for everybody. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
love it, and
Yeah.
I get such a good feedback about it, and
For
I'm glad it's
sure.
healing people too, not just healing me, or
Hell
it's
yeah.
healing everybody else.
So
Yeah.
is that like a that's interesting. So when you're making work, you like to listen to things that are going to essentially make you think in this kind of thought process of spirituality or healing or something that's
Mm-hmm.
more powerful or elevating.
More powerful
That's
message. Yeah.
powerful message. That's really smart, actually. I should do that. Whenever I work, I listen to like fucking
Oh, that's nice.
politics and
Yeah.
fucking comedy and stuff.
I
And
know it's
it like it
easy to like want to catch the news this day, and the world is crazy right now. I'm trying to keep distance. Like, okay, I'm
it's
just gonna
crazy.
focus on something that's suiting my mind instead.
It's
Right?
such a good idea. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Do you come from a spiritual background? Is there like religion in your family?
Yeah, we are Buddhism pretty much.
Buddhist.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like,
Did you grow up
yeah,
this way?
yeah, not too intense, but
Mm-hmm.
my mom, since I was young, she tried to say, "Did you meditate like today, or you study? You have to pass the study. Maybe you try to meditate and stuff." Like I hear since I
That's
was
cool.
young. But my mom doesn't. Sometimes she doesn't meditate herself, but she's like to tell
She
her
wants you to, of course, of course.
yeah,
Classic
she want me
mothers. Yeah.
and but yeah, of course. But it's like not I would not say like we are like very religious or anything, but
Mm-hmm,
we go
mm-hmm,
to
mm-hmm.
temple, give the food to the monk, like a
Yeah.
traditional thing, but not like crazy or
It's
anything.
kind of the
But like meditation is
nice thing
yeah,
about Buddhism is that it's like not a very there's not a lot of negatives in the religion. You know what I mean? Like
right. Mm,
my family's Jewish, religious. Like, yeah, you could find a lot
mm,
of positive things in the religion and whatever, but at the end of the day, there's a lot more negative than there is positive. And I
yeah.
think a religion like Buddhism is like kind of cool because they're really okay. You could say maybe a negative is like you become a monk and go live in Tibet, but that's not really negative. That's like
Hmm.
your own choice. Like
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
not hurting
It's your own
anybody.
problem. Exactly.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not
yeah,
like a mess anybody. You mess with your
yeah,
negative thought, with your
yeah,
like bad
exactly.
behavior.
Yeah,
Like stop thinking. Like don't have to think so too much,
yeah.
and be with now. Be in the main like at the
In the
moment, at
moment.
the present
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool that you grew up with that in your life. I'm sure like it's funny because like when you grow up with something, you probably look at it as like oh mom, I don't want to meditate right now. Like leave me alone,
Yeah.
But it's like
And
actually
now
it's
and
like a
it's like
great
yeah, I
thing
should
for
have
kids
listened to my
to.
mom.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Actually useful like what I've been rejected in the past like I see it's very it helped me like to ground myself
Ground
like I mean
yourself.
I
Yeah.
don't meditate that much anymore but
Mm,
I'm trying to cultivate like being be the present moment is more important than sit down and meditate like
mm,
this is what I discovered because it's like
mm,
sometimes you don't have to when you don't have to think you shouldn't think because it's thinking is just drain your energy. I don't know
mm.
if anybody agree with me, but
Yeah, of
it's
course.
it's me. Like the more you think, the more you do less. For me,
Mm,
like I give less action when I think a lot more, and if I
interesting.
give an action a lot more faster than I do more than I think because like I only
Interesting.
think when I need to think basically. and that's
That's
like
interesting. That's, by the way, that's a really hard skill to learn. I think a lot, like especially in the Western world in modern society, like you're taught to think all the time, right? Like
right,
solve a
exactly, yeah.
problem, be critical thinking. These are all
Hmm.
like considered really good traits to have in Western society, but at the same time, it's so important to be able to like shut that off and just be, right?
Yeah, it's all about strategy. I think like
Mm,
it's more effective. What I try to understand about, because it's my favorite kind of topic about like brain thinking, mind, how the mind work and everything. I'm not expert. I'm just really interested in this. But like when you don't have to not thinking. I'm not telling like not thinking is good, but you only think when you have to think. But you can retain your brain energy when you need to think. You be a more efficient kind of when you think, because you don't drain energy or the whole time of your day. You only think when it's crucial and then important. Then you have more quality of thinking. That's the point. Like
mm.
strategically kind of thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, strategic thinking, like when to be
Thinking.
very
Yeah.
focused, when to be very
Exactly.
like letting things go. That's a really good
Exactly.
a thing to learn, right? Like, and I guess it's super
Mhm.
subjective. Like each person has their way of doing it,
But
and
their
like
own
when the
way,
right
exactly.
time.
It's just like my way of approaching this kind of brain work, and I
Mm,
find it very effective for me, and it
mm.
make total sense. And I mean, it's if you can't do it like meditation, by no means, please do it, because it's gonna be super
Yeah,
useful for
super
your
useful.
concentration, for everything. I mean, for me, this is the better for me, because like I meditate a lot, and then I and kind of arrive to this kind of point where it work well with my brain and my normal life basically. And
Right.
yeah, everybody have different way of approaching things, but just try at least meditate. I'm sure it will be enormously help your
For
uh,
sure, for
like
sure. And
emotion
especially
and
especially today, like meditation is a lot more like you don't have to be a Buddhist to meditate. There's a lot of different ways to
yeah.
meditate. I love Eckhart Tolle. Do you know Eckhart Tolle?
Oh yeah, oh, it's very
The Power
soothing.
of
Like
Now. Yeah, it's just like
yeah. Oh,
and it
I love that too. Super calm. Like you calm.
super calm and
He talk
it's
like calm
simple.
immediately.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, very
simple. It's
simple.
like it's not like you don't have to like practice anything really. It's just like a mindset and a switch that really helps to kind of like, reduce anxiety, reduce suffering. Like it's like very
Right.
powerful. The thing is that because we live, I mean, I don't know how you feel about this. Maybe you have more of a tie on it, but because we live in such a busy world and because, we have these computers and we're traveling and we're
Yeah.
working, you kind of forget that it's really important to do these things, like y-
True.
I look at my life, I'm like, oh, I'm successful, oh, things are working, oh, everything's good, like, okay, I have my problems, my personal, my money, whatever, everything, but it's like I don't remember to like to take that moment, like even if everything's good and everything's going well, it's still important to like have this moment of just like, okay, like, meditate,
Yeah.
be in like a
Hmm.
space, like a practice of some sort,
Hmm.
I have to remind myself of this all the time because it's
Yeah. It's
like you
like
kind
you
of
have to
forget.
ground it yourself.
Ground.
Like
Yeah.
you can always be fast, but like how to slow down. And
Mm,
because like you when you fast, you can't comprehend. You don't see a lot of detail. Like
mm,
when you ground it, you kind of like a computer is more like you fragment more process better.
mm,
Because when you fast you can't process much, you just
mm.
focus like one thing at a time, and that's why like I think the best is like morning. I think it work useful like before that, before your kid wake you up, if you can like like just like a deep breathe, and then like
Mm.
5 minutes is like even 5 minutes is like
Yeah,
good,
5 minutes
just
is all you
just to
need.
have a sense
For
sense
sure.
of like a be at the present moment where you
Mm,
don't like think of anything. Even better, I know like
mm.
people can't stop thinking, but like just quiet without noise or
Yeah,
anything, 5 minutes is
super
already
important.
effective for some people. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's like in general, I'm personally not very good with like habits. It's funny because some habits I'm good, like smoking and getting high. That's a habit that I'm very good at.
Well,
But
I know I've been there, and then it's hard to find like teach. I have that's why I'm fascinated about the brain. How to teach your brain to do
good
discipline
habits,
in the
discipline.
positive thing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm experimental for a couple of years, and then I find my way how to trick my brain about it. So and
What
it's
what
not easy, but
what was it?
uh
What, like, is there anything that you can give us of that? What was it?
you if you want to do something, if it's longer than 5 or 10 seconds, it's too late.
Yeah.
If you think like if you want to exercise
Yes.
like stretching or like yoga,
Say
but
one, two, three,
when
four,
it,
five. Do it.
you like use your body to give an action before your brain hesitates thinking
Ah,
back and forth, like
so
give an
good.
action faster, and then because the body is stronger force, basically your body for me is like a subconscious mind,
Mm-hmm.
unconscious mind. The
Mm-hmm.
brain will follow your body no matter what. Like if your
So
body
true.
tend to move, and everything else will just follow. But if you can do this like faster than your thinking brain, long enough, repetitive enough, it will build a nice like neural
Connection.
part
Yeah.
connection in your brain a lot more stronger. So like
Mm.
the more you against your thinking give it action, the easier later. So that's what I did discover. Like
Wow,
I'm
that's
trying to
so
go
good.
to fitness in the morning.
No, it's
I
so
never
good.
been a fitness person, and it's like Germany is so cold. How can I get out of my bed in this cold weather just to go to fitness? And I never done that in my life. And then it took me at least a year just to change the habit. And I'm so
Mm.
happy because it's like change the body is the hardest thing. But when
Mm.
once you pass that, it's like, oh, thank God I made that change. But
Yeah.
you have to find your trick, like how do you fool your brain? Sometimes like another trick that I found is like I woke up. I'm trying to watch like somebody exercise, like doing some kind of fitness movement, and when I see it, my body wants to do it. It's just like weird. I don't know if maybe it doesn't work for everybody. It worked for me. Like if like first thing that I see like somebody exercise, and it's like okay, now I could like my body want to do adapt, like copy this video, and that just like works so most of the time. But sometimes
That's
you're
awesome.
stuck in Instagram before you go to exercise. Yeah, I know.
I
Like you
I
can
want
go
to
back
like
to your own.
I want to delete all my apps, but then I'm like, well, then
Right,
what do I do about like, how do I release the podcast, or where do I post my
for
fucking
sure.
thing? And it's like,
Yeah,
it's like such a curse, but it's also like a necessary evil of some sort. I just, there's no,
I
but I
know.
like this. I like this idea of what you're saying, of like making that pathway and connecting it, like using your body as the driving
It's
force,
a big,
like faster than
mhm.
your brain. Such a good like tip, because it's so true, right? Like, and it works the opposite way. Like, if you think about drugs, like why drugs can be so addicting is because you get that fast, get that fast release of dopamine. It's the same thing with Instagram. You get
Mhm.
the fast release of dopamine,
True.
and your body, your brain makes that connection of like, oh, if I scroll right now, I'm gonna feel good. So okay, so let's do it, right?
Mhm.
But it's like the mechanism of like the action is really what's making the connection in the brain. With drugs, whatever, it's
Mhm.
chemical, it's the same thing. But yeah,
True.
like
Yeah. And then you
having
can't
some
stop,
sort
and
of,
you just like it's hard stop. You already build the connection of not
yeah,
stopping, and it's like,
yeah.
damn, you are too late. But if you apply to something that is more useful, and then you're not gonna stop because like the more you do it, the more easier for the brain.
For
Basically,
sure.
we have a monkey mind, right? The monkey mind
Yeah,
wants to do a lazy
reptile,
thing.
reptile brain, right? Like
Reptile or
yeah,
monkey, whatever,
yeah,
like an
yeah, yeah,
animal mind.
animal.
They want to be lazy, and
Yeah.
how do you? That's why meditation is so important, because meditation is like a work on. For me, it's like a muscle for the mind. Like
Mm,
you can have body muscle, but the brain
mm,
also have their own muscle. Like
mm,
how do you control your thinking, your habit, and everything? It starts from the mind, and
mm,
another level is like how to trick your mind, that you have to find your how can your own way to trick your mind to do in a certain thing that you want, and not like flow into something random in the day, and it's a challenge for everybody. Challenge for me, challenge for everybody. That social media like easily to yeah get lost in Instagram or whatever social media. But I mean, at least like I'm trying to like not to detach. I hear the same. Everybody have the same problem. Like once you in Instagram, you get attached, and number one when I decide to post every day, it's like how do I not attach to Instagram? Like have a good relationship, not
Relationship,
like
yeah,
unhealthy,
healthy.
yeah, and not a healthy relationship with it. And of course, not always I can do it, but I'm
Yeah,
I'm
it's
trying
very
to
hard.
work on it to be balanced at best as possible, not to detach or attach basically.
Yeah, I guess that
Yeah.
having the being aware of it is probably the first level, right? Like being aware of something is like the first level to
Mhm. That's
being
a
able to
first
get
step indeed. Yeah.
first step.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, so nice. Okay, shifting a little bit away from this, but you it kind of also kind of similar in some way. I guess it's kind of what we were talking about, but I'm just interested because I did see somewhere that you wrote that you have maybe on your website that you like to be influenced by your Eastern roots and kind of have that inside of your work. Is there anything that you want to share with us on that? Like, what is the influence? How does it affect you? How does it affect your work?
Yeah, actually, I mean, like my bio, like I put that I have like Eastern root, but also like I love to explore science and technology and art in tech and science. I like both, and that's why for me it's interesting. For me, it's like yin yang kind of
Yeah,
energy, like
yeah.
like soft force and hard force. Like science is a hard force, and then philosophy or what I like wisdom stuff like that is a soft. But there always a connection. And then in the past I don't have much connection, but the more I pair them and I find them actually like strong connection, it's it's a good balance of dealing with thing or
Mm,
approach to thing. Like I always like how the science actually work together with the spiritual this day. They actually people think they're actually opposite, but they're actually the same thing. But
mm,
not like many people like try to connect, but actually it start to be more like this generation. People find the connection a lot more like science and spiritual, and it was like for me this topic is a fascinating combination. How you don't like be completely black and white, right? You can like science. It's good that you like stick with the scientific kind of thing, but you
mm-hmm.
can't just ignore emotion
Right.
and feeling, which is like true, like love, and you can't ignore that. Like you
Mm,
should like work together, like science and feeling, and that's what like for me. Um, it's an interesting topic to combine them and also like give you a good mindset about how to looking at the world. Doesn't matter how science develop, but your spiritual should also be developed at the same time.
mm,
It should work together. Like you have AI, but you don't have moral in AI. Everything is just doom, right? And I mean it's just one example, but in general, like I like the balance, like to find a balance between these two
mm.
topic and because they are like strong different how people in general think, but this day I think it start to be more
Connected.
working together, like
Yeah.
connected,
The
more
line
like
the
people
line is
find more.
blurring a little bit.
Exactly. And yeah, because like also like one of the reason like I have a lot of message like about to talk about like not really Buddhism core message, but it's like how to like live peaceful in
Mm,
this digital kind of world, like
mm,
fast pace, everything rush,
mm,
social media capture your attention in 2 seconds. I mean, I'm making video when I before I found TouchDesigner, I'm making video for social media in the past, like as a professional, and then I know
mm.
like you need to catch
The
people within
attention.
three
Yeah.
second kind of rule and this kind of thing, and then it's like, oh come on. And if we had enough, like can we somebody make a video is just calm your mind? Like how many people would do that this world
Mm,
this day anyway? And yeah, I know like how this thing, like everything catch your attention all the time. And yeah, that's one of the reasons. That's like also like find I have always message. So when I have a resonate something with like a spiritual level or philosophy message, and yeah, it's just like combined with the tech style that I have, like a artistic style. That my artistic is like more technology, like tech, and I find it's like a good contrast kind of thing, and it become my yeah, my way of expressing in my art, and yeah,
Amazing. Beautiful. And
basically.
I love that, like you said, the lines are blurring between like the intersection, right, of like the, the yin and the yang, or the west and the east, kind of like these concepts
Yeah,
of, even like you said, like the science and emotion, or like the, you know, it's almost like the left brain, right brain, like logic
exactly. Yeah,
and a feeling,
it should like a polarity, like it should blur more. There's nothing. It's nothing too black anymore. It's nothing too white anymore.
yeah.
It's more like how do you
We
apply
know
the effect?
this. Why doesn't everybody else? I wish everybody else would think of like this, and we would have a much better world, right? Like, yeah, for sure, for
Totally.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Everything's so polarized these days. Politics and
Yeah.
wars and religion. It's like everything's
Of
so
course.
black and
Yeah.
white, and it's like no, but nothing is black and white like that. It really isn't. There's nothing like this.
No,
You know.
everything is just round. It's just the way you're looking at things. But the way you got present, you want to want you to believe it's just black, too white all the time. But if you slow down, I think it's also like fast paced. You can't comprehend a lot of things. If you take it slow down, you see more detail, and nothing is too black. Nothing is too white. Yeah. It's getting deeper in this rabbit hole. You want to go deeper anyway
We can
in
go.
this
I
topic.
could talk to you for. I could talk about this topic forever. But
Right.
we are going to get to the end of our conversation here, and the last thing I want to talk to you about, and this is always like a kind of a difficult topic to talk about, but also I feel like it's a very important topic to talk about. Um,
Mhm.
I'm a man. You're a woman. I feel like as a woman in this industry, there is an experience that's different than my experience. In general, not only in this industry, in general in the world, there's a difference between our experiences. And I just, I think it's important for all the listeners, not only a woman or men, but for everybody to get that perspective. Maybe, and please feel free to take it to wherever you want. But yeah, just please share with us a little bit about that perspective of being a woman in this industry, or just in general being a woman.
Yeah, actually, interesting topic. Like in at least in my country, like in Thailand, when I work as a post production, right? Like doing visual effect, post. Most of the time, I'm like one of the two women in the office or something, and I
Mm.
have a that feeling for quite already more than 10 years about like being like female in this kind of field, and of course like yeah, I sometimes there's a hard time where you people treat me okay, like a kind of negative. For of course I passed through that, like people like a person that high rank in their professional that work the
Yeah.
same field, most of course is a male, but like looking down, that is like, oh, uh, we do this level, can you do that? And then
Right.
I don't want to go into detail, like make you feel like you're really small,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
most of the time, of course it's like not a nice feeling, but when I was young, it was a lot more enraging. But now I'm thinking about like a lot more growing up, and I'm in the industry of what I work for 20 years. Actually, it's like since 2000, 2009, 2008, 2009 that I'm in the same field all the time, and I tend to make it like a drive, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
to like I can do better. Like it just keep me. That's why I like maybe that's the reason why I'm not stop learning, because I um, I want to be better.
The
It make
best.
me
Yeah.
want to be better. Yeah, it doesn't have to be the best, but it's like
Mm.
challenging. What like how far I can do better. Like how
Mm.
can if I can do better than this or not in different stage of career, like a next stage. Like oh maybe I can do better, and then I find another person that is like oh can you actually do it, and it's like, and then it's like maybe I'm gonna try, and then it just kicked me moving forward. Like I
Mm.
mean, at that time I was younger, it's a lot more negative, but now
Mm-hmm.
getting older, you careless basically,
Mm. You
and
care less,
actually
you're
like
saying?
I care a lot less. Yeah, I care a lot
Mm-hmm.
less,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I'm happy that I it actually I had to thank them. But they
Yes,
kick
because it
they
pushed
think
you.
they're making me want to pushing me want to be better to the same thing that I'm trying to do. But it's
Mm.
even better every year pass by, and
Mm.
there's like already 20 years, and I'm like without them, maybe I'm not like kicking myself so much, right?
Mm.
But
Mm.
I mean, like in Germany, there's not many, but I don't. My brain doesn't even want to remember. Like if
Mm.
somebody like looking at me down, it's like, oh, you're
Mm.
female. I don't have that much memory, but it's of course like deep inside, and I feel like challenging. I
Mm.
don't want to call it a problem. It's challenging for me. Like, oh, am I like what do we call like the this syndrome that people use like you feel like you're not good
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. Imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and then when the more I talk to people, actually, it's not just female, but it's like even I
Yeah,
heard from male artists too that
yeah.
it's not just female, and I feel like okay, maybe gender is not a thing. It's
Mm.
a common human that is the that happened to most of the
Feeling.
artists that want to. Yeah, it's a common feeling that you work with somebody else more like a talent, and then you feel you can always the point is you can always find somebody better than you, and the person that's already good, I'm sure that they compare to somebody else higher, it's gonna be endless. And the point is
Mm.
how do you be peaceful
Mm-hmm.
with your status. And then most of the time at the end I find challenging yourself is the hardest thing to challenging everybody else, you know.
Mm.
Like what I want to do this, but I have an excuse. Like if I find excuse, that means I blame myself, and I'm not challenging everybody. But I want to do something better, but I find the excuse to myself all the time. It's like, oh, you're not gonna. It's too hard. You cannot do it, and it's at the end. I'm trying to not to compare to other, but
Right.
compare to what I
To
wanted to
yourself.
do to
Yeah.
be to myself,
Mm.
and it's easier to deal than looking outside. Looking inside is maybe it's harder, but it's also more you
Mm.
than random people that actually you think is better. Like you can
Mm.
always find somebody else that is more challenge to you, but at the end, one thing at a time, you challenge what you wanted to achieve. You see the goal, but you have all kinds of excuse in the middle,
Mm.
and it's better to not looking some outside, focus on like you want to be better by challenging yourself
For
and stuff
sure.
like that. But, yeah,
Super interesting. And I love
my
how
approach. Yeah.
I really like how you shifted from it being like a gender thing, and you're saying like it's not necessarily about that. I appreciate that. I'm sure it's not as simple as that, and I'm sorry that you had to uh, prove yourself to yourself because people put you down. That's like, yeah, it's good that the result was good, but it's also like it doesn't have
But
to be
that's a
that
long
way.
time ago. Yeah, that's why I don't take it
Of
serious
course,
anymore.
of course, of
But
course.
at the end, like imposter syndrome is. I discovered that actually it's not just me. It's most of
We all have it.
artists
Everybody.
know. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like then it's not gender thing. But of course, like TouchDesigner are very concentrated in the male artists, and I have to admit that like using TouchDesigner use a lot of right brain for me, and I came from the left brain. Like I love to make beautiful visual, and that's all I care. I don't know how I get it. Don't ask me how I get it. I just know that it look good. But now
Yeah,
I have to think logic
yeah,
when I
yeah,
use
yeah,
touch
yeah.
designer, and that's why a lot of male artists than female. But I mean, yeah. but it makes sense. But it's good for me. I'm trying to be positive, like that. I exercise my right brain, left brain a lot more
Left,
than before. Yeah, left a lot more than ever before, and that's like, yeah. Thanks to TouchDesigner, like get to be
That's
balanced,
awesome.
like not just the right brain. Yeah.
Well, I think this is a good place to end, and I'll just to wrap that period up is, we're all in this together. We're all kind of, men, women, we're all in this together, and it's it's all of our responsibility to make the spaces that we're in more acceptable, more accepting, more open, no judgment, and to allow and open the doors for everybody. And it's really important for, that is a side thing. It's also really important for women like yourself who are very successful and very high, experienced in what they're doing and doing it for a long time. It is inspiring for younger women and also for men, of course. But I'm saying it's like, it's that classic thing of like, I'm like a white guy, right? So I never really think about this so much because all like the heroes and all the superhero, everybody's a white guy. So it's like, I never think about representation because that's just natural. But there is an aspect of representation of like, when you don't see people like yourself doing the thing that you want to do, you start asking questions of like, wait, can I do it? Nobody else does it. But when you see people like yourself doing the thing, it makes a big difference. And I think it's sometimes we don't really realize that, but it does have a huge impact. So, keep on doing what you're doing, inspire others. And
Actually, it's like a kind of weird. Like I have to tell one story. Like when
please.
I start doing posting every day, and people thought it's a man. Like 90% that wrote me, they never thought I'm a woman because I never show
Oh my God,
my
it's terrible.
image. Like, oh come on, really another one? And I don't like to have like identity. Like she call me she or her.
Right. Yeah.
I don't like it, and
Right.
we're all human, but still, like I get, hey, dude, man, it's like no, like until like the last 3 years, and then I get the better. Like, okay, I show my photo, like look
That's
at
so
my
funny.
photo, yeah,
That's
because like
so
my
funny.
artwork is probably like male look kind of thing.
I mean, what does that even mean? Like, I mean, that's like another thing is, I think it's just like normal for, especially in the TouchDesigner geeky kind of like, nerdy, like a lot of nerdy geeky people aren't really comfortable talking to girls always. So it's like, maybe like they don't want to even think that you could be a girl because maybe they wouldn't send you a message, They'd be too embarrassed.
Well, it's like, dude, man, it's like, I'm not a man. Stop already.
That's funny.
It's funny.
That's awesome. Well, now we know Ployz is an awesome, amazing woman.
Yeah, it's never thought like now it's like super present. Like, Ployz, look at me. I'm not a man. Please call me girl
That's
or
so
her
funny.
or something.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Please, everybody, check out Ploy's work on her Instagram. Follow her on the Patreon. Keep up to date with all the things that she's doing. Follow the workshops. Hopefully, so soon we'll have a space to be able to go and meet you and talk to you in person. Is there anything you want to share with us or plug before we go?
No, just happy to be part of this community, and I feel very lucky to using TouchDesigner. It just opened a lot of doors and get to know so many people around the world, and I feel super lucky by that, and appreciate all the people that come to my life and share the knowledge, share the friendship, and just share the interview like this. And there's all kinds of positive, like 80% positive, like 90% actually, that I never thought like could happen. Whatever happening is, I'm super grateful, and I appreciate everybody contact me, give me all kinds of opportunity, want to get to know me, everything. I just want to say that I'm grateful about everything.
Hell yeah. Wow, what an episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Manda Smash for the intro and outro music. Thank you to Sophie Holder for the amazing internship helping us with all the episodes. And thank you to the guests for coming on and spending time with us. See you next week.